What's going on, everybody? Welcome in the NBA Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman. Day 3 of NBA free agency is here, and we've already had some big-time news break earlier today as James Wiseman is signing a 2-year deal with the Indiana Pacers, and then also we're getting reports that the Miami Heat are interested in DeMar DeRozan. So what's going on, guys? As we have this audience build up here, I want you guys to shout out your city down below in the comment section. We're also live here on the Bulls Report, so shout out to all the Bulls fans tuning in over there. But shout out your city for me, and we give you guys some shout outs in the chat. We got Domination, El Matador, Jackson Edicts, Ty Man, the Buck guy. Shout out to Ty Man in the chat, as I got a direct view on your guy Petey right now, Ty Man. So thanks so much for tuning in. We got Christian on the planet Saturn. J-Dog saying hi, Eugene in Detroit, Megan in Phoenix, Tyman in Ohio, Goat Mode saying if we don't trade Vooch, I'm going to rage. Yeah, we'll see if a Nikola Vucevic trade gets done for the Chicago Bulls here, but Randy's in Atlanta, Andrew's in Dallas, Megan's in Phoenix, Omar in Peoria. We out here in Sacramento, Zachary in Orlando. Shout out to everybody tuning in. Even got some people in Vegas right here on the Bulls Report side of things. But let's kick it to some free agency predictions right here. So who do you guys think will be the next player to sign? Maybe a little biased here as I am a Bulls fan, but I think a DeMar DeRozan, update is going to be coming here shortly. This was coming in from Barry Jackson, pretty tapped in with all Miami sports. He did mention that the Miami Heat are showing interest in DeMar DeRozan, so could that be a possible move that we see break while we are live? I just have to wait and see on that. But Omar is saying got to be DeRozan. El Matador's in Champaign. Daniel's in Maine. Shauna saying Miles Bridges. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely still a lot of good free agents out there. Been a pretty slow day. Or a pretty slow start to days 1 and 2 of free agency. And, you still got some good names out there. Like, you still got DeMar DeRozan, big-time name as, he has two options. He could either perform a sign-and-trade where he could go get a 3-year deal from a respective organization, or he could just take a 1-year deal, wait for the market to reset, and then become a free agent again next offseason. Tate saying DeMar's going to the Lakers. Yeah, we've heard a lot of reports on that. Even LeBron, Wendy came out and said that LeBron would be willing to take a pay cut for DeMar to come home to Los Angeles. John Garcia is predicting Luke Kennard to the Spurs. I would like that fit. Get another shooter around Wemby and Chris Paul. Help space the floor there. Don't hate that prediction at all. Robert saying the Nuggets do something for the bench. Yeah, Nuggets have to do something. They have lost two key rotational pieces from their last championship in Bruce Brown and KCP going to the Magic. But we do have a super chat coming in from my man Andrew H. Shout out to Andrew. Appreciate you sending a $5 super chat. As Lamore saying, great show. Shout out to Lamore. Stephen Smith saying Chicago. Shout out to you, Stephen, for tuning in. Tate saying, yeah, DeMar to the Lakers. Mason's predicting Caleb Martin to the Grizzlies. I could see Caleb Martin. I actually like that fit a little bit. Tyus Jones, another big name target out there as well. Mega is saying Lauri Markkanen to the Warriors. That would be a great move, as the Warriors are kind of sitting on their hands and feet here, haven't really been making any moves. We actually heard earlier today that they were interested in Zach LaVine as well, so keep your eyes out on that. Maybe they could somehow, pull off that trade, send Wiggins and another piece to, match contracts. Joey DeLuca in the chat saying you and Marsh Green are the best. Shout out to Joey DeLuca turning in. Appreciate you, my man. That's a real one right there. Killa Hunter Ray saying Bulls, bang, bang. Shout out to Killa tuning in. Yeah, Tate saying D-Mitch re-signed. Yeah, D-Mitch did re-sign with the Cleveland Cavaliers earlier today. But this super chat coming from Andrew saying, do you think we get any Lakers moves today? Yeah, so the Lakers, they were connected to DeMar DeRozan. And Wendy came out and said that he could see LeBron taking a pay cut for DeMar. And, originally before free agency, my bold prediction was that LeBron's going to take a massive pay cut, to help the Lakers go all in on this little 2-year run that they have. So maybe it's, DeMar heading there. I don't know if they would, it could be a guy like Tyus Jones, not really too sure, but Yeah, I think we're definitely going to get some moves from the Lakers today as they have been quiet as well. Lost out on the Klay Thompson sweepstakes yesterday. So, hopefully the Lake Show, do end up making a move. But another super chat coming in from my man, Robert Dominguez. Shout out to you. He said, since you discussed my Nuggets. Yeah, Nuggets are an interesting spot. I think we do have the title odds if you guys want to throw that up real quick. Nuggets are an interesting spot here as, they lost two key pieces from the championship team a couple years ago in Bruce Brown and KCP. But you look at the title odds, like the Nuggets are still third according to the bookmakers out west. And you still got Boston Celtics overwhelming favorites at plus 300. Philadelphia 76ers coming in there at plus 775. But you still got the Nuggets as the favorite to come out of the Western Conference even after the Thunder did add Alex Caruso and Isaiah Hartenstein. I would expect, and maybe the Nuggets are just banking on a guy like Michael Porter Jr., taking that, big time jump where he is a true third option on a championship team. Maybe they're banking on that. And also Jamal Murray wasn't, entirely healthy this past postseason run. So, maybe the Nuggets are confident in the group they have, already on their roster. But then you got the Knicks rounding it out at plus 950. Have absolutely loved the moves they have made this offseason. But shout out to Daniel tuning in on the Bulls side of things. Jordan Davis saying Wolves and Mavs not being up there is crazy. So, Sam, the Mavs were up here before free agency, you said? So the Mavs, funny enough, actually had the third best odds to win the title next season before free agency. And then now I believe they're sixth in the latest title odds. So they're just outside of this. I do think the Minnesota Timberwolves not being up here is a little wild as well. But we do have a super chat menu for you guys. If you guys want to support the show, either on the Bulls Report where we are live or also our main chat sports channel. Got over 750 people tuned in over there and actually 125 Bulls fans tuned in on the Bulls Report. So shout out to all of you guys tuning in. But if you guys want to support the show, every 50 likes we'll do a little beers cheers for you guys. So make sure you guys are liking the video. And then if you send in a $2 super chat, we'll talk about your team. $5, we'll spin the wheel. We'll get some shots going for a 20. And then, hey, if you guys want us to shotgun some beers here, we'll do it for a $50 super chat if you guys want to, support the show. But there's also other ways to support the show. You guys could just like the video, send this stream out to more and more Bulls fans or NBA fans, whatever it may be, and also make sure you guys are subscribed because if any news breaks around the NBA, I promise you us here at Chat Sports will be the first ones to break the news for you guys. And also keep commenting in the chat all night long. I love just chopping it up with you guys down below in the chat. It makes our jobs a whole lot easier when you got a bunch of hoop heads, commenting down below. B-Ball Edit saying, why is it so quiet right now? I know free agency's been slow, man. The first 2 days, I am shocked at, the amount of, high-end free agents that are still out there on the market. And we saw yesterday some big-time news. Derek White did sign a mega deal with the Boston Celtics, 4 years, $125.9 million. I think that's a good move for Boston. Obviously, that was pretty expected as, Derek White truly one of the best role players I have possibly ever seen in NBA history. Just gets it done on both sides of the floor. Great in spot-up possessions. Just, he is everything you would want from a role player, and he deserves all, $31 million per year of that contract. But, hey, definitely the biggest trade that went down yesterday or was a sign-and trade. Klay Thompson heading to the Dallas Mavericks. Josh Green went to the Charlotte Hornets as a part of this deal, and then 2 second-round picks went back to the Golden State Warriors. I did not know this. They got a $16 million trade exception. Keep your eyes out on Zach LaVine heading to the Golden State Warriors. Just going to toss that out there. I think the Warriors, or maybe it could be a guy like Lauri Markkanen as well, but I definitely think the Warriors, there's a reason they got this trade exception. Expect them to be making some moves. But, quick thoughts on the Mavericks getting Klay Thompson. I absolutely love this move for them. I think the Mavs are going to, go away from, the Luka, Kyrie, my turn, your turn, types of moves. And, I think Klay's still got a lot left in the tank. I think, we live in such a what did you do for me recently type of society where, we all remember, Klay Thompson did go 0 for 10 in that play-in game. But if you're looking at these numbers you see on screen right now, everybody is calling this a down year for Klay. And it is. By his standards, it is a down year. But in 29 minutes a game, he still shot 38.7% from downtown, was able to put up 18 points a night. And, I understand he's not the same defender he once was, but it's not like he is a traffic cone on that side of the basketball court. Like, he is still a serviceable defender. He's still 6'7", super long arms, and I think it's just people it's the Instagram comments effect. Like, people just love clowning Klay Thompson because of that performance, in the play-in game. But, you guys see the numbers up on screen. Very efficient basketball player. And Luka, he's just going to hand feed him open shots. So, I definitely do think Klay is going to be, a great pickup for the Dallas Mavericks. I think it's going to work out. But what about Jason Tatum signing the mega deal? I saw something. It was his area code from St. Louis was 314, and technically he could have signed a $315 million deal. I don't know if he just wanted to match the area code there. A little speculation, as that would be a perfect fit, for Tatum. As he's a pretty corny guy. But, hey, Celtics had to get this done. No doubt about it. So, yeah, I think it's a good move for both sides here, as Tatum will become the first player to average $70 million, or to earn $70 million for an upcoming season. But we do have another super chat coming in on the chat sports stream. Jamie saying, is there a path that Dallas can get Saddiq Bey? Probably not. I think the Mavs, I saw they are right above the tax before the first apron, I believe, is how it sets up right now. So Saddiq Bey is probably going to get somewhere around the MLE. I would assume maybe $12 to $15 million per year. So I think he's out of the Dallas Mavericks price range right now. I could see Saddiq Bey going to a team like San Antonio. Keep your eyes out on them. Or maybe even the Warriors throw him a bag. Just have another 3-and-D player around Steph Curry. Saddiq Bey did, though, tear his ACL last season, but he's expected to make a full recovery, over there. As we got Joel on the Bulls side of things saying DeMar is good as gone. Yeah, we got that report coming in from Joe Cali yesterday that the Alex Caruso, Josh Giddey trade was the final dagger for DeMar DeRozan leaving the Chicago Bulls. Earlier today, Barry Jackson, very tapped in with Miami Sports, did say the Heat are expected to show interest in DeMar DeRozan. So I'm hoping we get some DeMar news here in the short future. But we also got another super chat. Destiny Shea sending $1 to support the show. 2 beers cheers? Oh, yeah. Every super chat that comes in, we'll give you guys a little beers cheers. Every 50 likes. My bad. Gotta get updated with the super chat menu here. But appreciate you guys. Make sure you are liking the video. And yeah, shout out to everybody in the chat. As we do, welcome in my man Cohen Brown. What's going on, Cohen? Pretty good. What has been your biggest takeaway throughout the first, couple of days of free agency? Is a move you love the most, or? I love the fact that every team in the Eastern Conference seems to really want to take the yeah. Yeah.
In order to attack the Boston Celtics and the reigning NBA champs.
Yeah. No, Cohen was just saying he expects these teams in the East, just go at Boston a little bit. But that gets us to this question. Will the Celtics repeat in 24-25? Yeah, he was muted for the beginning of that. We got that figured out. We're all good. Don't worry about it. Will they repeat? You guys let us know. Give me a Y for yes or an N for no. What do we have? I think it's 6 different NBA champions, 6 years in a row. I'm going to say no, that they don't repeat. I think they're, by far the best team in the league as it stands right now. But, again, we live in a society where we just go on what we've seen lately. So, I'm going to say no for now. I think there's a ton of other good teams. You got the Thunder. You got, obviously the Knicks gearing up. The Sixers, if they could stay healthy, I think they could compete with the Boston Celtics as well. So I'm going to go no, but, obviously Boston, they deserve to be the overwhelming favorites, as, they are a tremendous basketball team. But we got a $5 super chat on the Bulls side of things coming in from my man DeMarcus Webb saying, could you see the Bulls signing Hield? As it actually did just go away on my side of things. Maybe DeMarcus retracted that, but he was talking about, could you see the Bulls signing Buddy Hield or Luke Kennard? The Bulls right now have $13 million to spend before they do hit the luxury tax, and as we know, the Bulls front office will not pay that tax. That is something that has been pretty certain over the past couple of years. So I'm going to say no, they're not going to get Buddy Hield or Luke Kennard. I think they're going to use that extra cap space to help facilitate a Zach LaVine or Nikola Vucevic trade. So, yeah, I'm going to go no on that. But we could spin the wheel here. We've had a couple super chats come in. So, if you guys don't know, when you guys do send in a $5 super chat today, we will spin a wheel as D. Lawson and the Bullish chat saying, isn't the Celtics up for sale? Yeah, they are up for sale. Game Master saying, what's up, Patrick? DeRozan to Heat instead of Hero. Why not Rozier and Jaquez? Yeah, I do think if DeMar does go to Miami, it's not going to be a sign and trade. It would probably just be him signing a one-year deal with the Heat. So, I just don't think it's going to be a sign and trade. I wish for the Bulls side of things. Obviously, I hope, DeRozan seeks out a 3-year deal and the Bulls, help facilitate that trade and they can get something in return. But from the Heat side of things, don't really think it has any chance to be a sign and trade. But Colin, we got a couple super chats. If we could spin this wheel, see what we got going. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Got the first one here. Drink water.
Hey, I'm down.
Drink water.
Let's go. Hey,
for once.
Take a sip of water, everybody.
You got another
Everybody
one.
hydrate at home.
Spin for round 2.
Another wheel spin coming in. Over 200 people on the Bulls side of things and over 1,100 people on the main channel. Shout out to you.
Drink water again.
All right. Hey, that's what the wheel wants. They want us to stay healthy today. They want us to stay hydrated.
There's plenty of alcohol.
Yeah.
There will.
No, we kind of got lucky. But we did have some super chats coming in on the main side of things. We'll throw those up right now. Saying, Bulls trade for Trae Young, please. Tired of yeah, there's a 0% chance that happens. Bulls got Josh Giddey, Io, Kobe White. No way that ends up being the case. And I think the Hawks are going to really, want to build around Trae Young here for the foreseeable future. Don't really see him getting dealt anytime soon. But Ecuadorman, appreciate you tuning in, man. I just don't think, that's entirely possible. But TJ Gaiman coming in with another super chat saying, are the Clippers officially a 9th or 10th seed? 100%. I mean, the Western Conference is loaded heading into the next season. Like, you got the top dogs like the Thunder, Timberwolves, Mavericks, and then even got like teams that got better like this offseason. Like the Pelicans got better. They're going to be a better basketball team. Even like, the Grizzlies coming back with Ja, Bane, Jaren Jackson. Like the Western Conference is going to be a gauntlet. And then you still got like the older teams like the Warriors and the Lakers where they still have Steph Curry, LeBron James. Like they're always going to be in the mix. So, yeah, I think the Clippers, I think they're going to be a team in the play-in tournament. Haven't really loved what they've done. Obviously, losing Paul George is, key. I like the addition of Derek Jones, just a guy to help you get better on the margins. But, I definitely do think the Clippers will be living in that play-in tournament. But New York G-Men coming in saying, who will the Bucks sign? That's an interesting question. I could see the Bucks maybe trying to get another shooter around Dame and Giannis. Maybe it's a guy like Buddy Hield. Yeah, I can't really think of any other guys that the Bucks would be interested in. Yeah, maybe a guy like Buddy Hield or, Luke Kennard. I could maybe see one of those guys. But the Bucks, I mean, they've had aggressive ownership in the past. And, they did bring in DeLon Wright yesterday. But, I thought they were going to be more aggressive. No doubt about it. Losing Malik Beasley will be big for them. And then I think what they're banking on the most, though, is Dame gets back to that old Dame form. We can talk about all these role players all we want, but what really drives the ship in the NBA? It's your top 2 players. And Dame, he had a bad season last year. Apparently, we got reports that that he wasn't even working out in the offseason. Doc Rivers kind of aired that out on a podcast. So, I just don't really know what the Bucks are going to do. But we did get some news yesterday. Chris Dunn, former Bulls legend, actually ended up going to the Los Angeles Clippers. Bulls legend, Petey, he knows. Former 4th overall pick, played 4 years at Providence. Chris Dunn, always was a fan of him. Always played super, super hard. Just never really had the offensive game to, I think, consistently be a good rotational piece in the NBA. But Knicks Galaxy saying, what's up, Siebes? How you doing, Knicks Galaxy? Max saying, Barnes and Hurt are still on the table. That would be great value for LaVine. Yeah, it was Casey Johnson in his podcast that he dropped today, did say that the Sacramento Kings and Golden State Warriors are still showing interest in Zach LaVine. If it were a trade with the Chicago Bulls, I'm assuming from the Kings side of things, it would it would be Harrison Barnes and Kevin Huerter to help match that contract. So we'll see if a trade goes down for LaVine. As we know, the Bulls are trying to move off him. We got reports early on this offseason that they had 15 different trade offers out there on the table. So we'll see what happens. But also Mo Bamba is signing with the Los Angeles Clippers, as well as I just got to feel bad for Clippers fans. Like, it has got to be a tough little 5-year run here of that Paul George Kawhi era. Now you're entering the Kawhi, James Harden era, and it's just, you're going to be living in the NBA play-in tournament. And then I'm not the biggest fan of what they've done this offseason. Obviously, you couldn't control PJ Tucker opting into his $11.5 million player option. That was a guarantee that was going to happen, but even Russ opting into his $4 million. James Harden getting $35 a year. I actually did not hate that deal as much, but he did get Kevin Porter on a 2-year deal. And then I'll tell you what, of the Derrick Jones, Batum, Chris Dunn, and Mo Bamba signings, you actually got a bunch of decent role players there. So if you're banking on Kawhi and James Harden, if you think they're good enough as a 1-2 punch to compete in the Western Conference, I mean, I guess you had a good offseason by your standards, getting a bunch of role players that help you out there. But Donovan Mitchell, yeah, we haven't talked about this yet. He did sign an extension with the Cleveland Cavaliers early on this morning of 3 years, $150 million. He was floated out there in, a bunch of trade rumors as of lately, but I thought this was a good move by Cleveland. Pretty interesting that Donovan Mitchell is showing faith in the Cleveland Cavaliers. I saw somebody compare Mitchell, him re-signing with the Cavs, to Damian Lillard re-signing with the Trailblazers a couple years ago. So, I thought it was a smart move by the Cavs. Obviously, you had to keep Donovan Mitchell or else you would have went into a full rebuild mode. I wonder what this means for Darius Garland, if they can maybe be looking to ship him away. Like maybe the Lakers, are calling for Darius Garland potentially, as we do have some reports coming in here from Michael Scotto saying that the Knicks are showing interest in Walker Kessler and the Sixers are still loading up and now showing interest in Dorian Finney-Smith. If the Philadelphia 76ers could land Dorian Finney-Smith, I think I would pick them to come out the East. I actually do. Like, obviously it all comes down to health with that ball club, but nothing considered imminent. But man, if they could land Finney-Smith, man, that would be a great move for them. That would be a great move. But also James Wiseman signed a 2-year deal with the Indiana Pacers. Did not get the full details just yet, but after the Pacers did lose Jalen Smith to the Chicago Bulls, has absolutely loved that pickup for Chicago. A guy with stretch 5 ability, and can play some big 4 for you, while also spacing the floor pretty well. So I like that move for the Bulls, but looks like they got the replacement in James Wiseman. Maybe that up and down pace that Indiana loves to have, we could see him excel. But big moves they made this offseason. Signed Siakam to that 4-year, $190 million deal. Absolutely love that from Indiana. Siakam was great for them during their postseason run to the Eastern Conference Finals. Obi Toppin getting a 4-year, $60 million deal. I thought that was a little bit of an overpay, but with, how he fits with how, Indiana plays, I think it's going to end up working out. And then, obviously, their latest move today, signing James Wiseman. This Jordan Davis saying numbers work, taking into account the pay cut LeBron was talking about. Yeah, so in terms of DeMar going to the Lakers, it really just depends on, how much of a pay cut is LeBron willing to take for DeMar heading, to Los Angeles. Who knows the answer to that? The only one that does is, obviously DeMar. But if you guys could help us out. So we're doing this every 50 likes we get. We're doing a beers cheers as we just crossed over 150 on Maine. We're 7 likes away on the Bulls side of things to cross over 50. So if you guys could like today's show, we'll sip some beer for it. But also, if you guys want to help us get this stream out to more and more NBA fans, if we get half the amount of people watching to like the video, it is backed up by science that this stream will get out to more and more NBA fans. So if you guys could like today's video, easy way to support the show. And hey, if you guys like the video, we won't ask anymore, which would be great, a better viewing experience for you guys. But let's kick into this. Bulls fans, I expect you guys all to type Bulls down in the chat right now. But shout out your favorite NBA team, and I'll look down in the chat, and whatever team I look at, I will talk about them for, the next 2 to 3 minutes. So shout out your favorite team down below in the comments section. I would appreciate it. As we already got Ches and Ryan Bussey coming in with the Bulls. Shout out to my Bulls fans out there. We're on the ups right now. We're on the ups. This is the first, off season of this massive rebuild where hopefully Chicago will be back on top. We got Ty-Man, the Buckeye type in the Cleveland Cavaliers. Good pickup for your Cavs earlier today, Ty-Man, of extending Donovan Mitchell. But get the chat going. Shout out to Jeff Bartlett holding it down over there as well on the Bulls side of things. Always tuning in. Ryan Mott's going fever. Close your eyes. All right. I'm going to look down at the chat. You want to count me down? Count me down from 3.
Gotcha. 3, 2, 1, go.
Ooh, the Warriors. That's a good one. All right. Let's talk about the Warriors here. Obviously a disappointing offseason so far for Golden State. No doubt about it. I mean, you definitely got worse by losing Klay Thompson. Chris Paul was actually a good piece off the bench for him last year. He had a really good year. He played limited minutes, but he still was able to put up, I think it was around 9 points a game, 7 assists coming off the bench, and he actually had a very high efficiency rating over there. But, the Warriors, I think, in terms of, a move that could get them back up to the top of the Western Conference, I would go all in on Lauri Markkanen. I think he would be a perfect fit in the Warriors system, can play some small ball 5 for you, where it's if you could run out a lineup of, let's just say, Curry. They picked up DeAnthony Melton. Maybe go Kuminga at the 3. 4 would be Draymond, and then you could go 5 of Lauri Markkanen. They could run some, a little bit of a replication of the death lineup. But, they've missed the playoffs 3 of the last 5 years after 5 straight trips to the NBA Finals. We'll see. I mean, obviously, I think Markkanen would be a great fit. I really do think Markkanen has gone underrated. I was just watching a lot of his tape last night, and I really think he is a year or 2 away from maybe solidifying himself as a top 20 player in the world. I think he's that good. He's a freak athlete. He's 7 foot tall, can move his feet, and he's actually not the worst defender in the world. I feel people just look at him and are like, oh, that guy can't guard. Well, he's got really good size to him, can shoot the 3 ball really, really well. One of the most efficient shooters in the NBA. I think in terms of the Warriors side of things, this would be a move I would be all in on. Because, hey, I mean, you want to do Steph Curry right. He delivered 4 championships to your organization. Might as well overpay for a guy like Markkanen, even if it would hinder your future. Might as well show Curry the respect in landing, one of these guys. But, Colin, I say now you pick a team.
Okay,
and you give your thoughts on them.
All right. We're going to count down here.
All right, got you.
Or you got it.
I got you. 5. Spam your favorite team in the chat real quick. Spam your favorite team in the chat. And my man Colin will pick you out. Let's go. Get it going. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Boom. First team I saw was the Rockets.
The Rockets. Okay. All righty.
Let's get the Rockets up there, man.
So it wasn't a massive offseason for the Rockets. Love the draft pick of Reed Shepherd. No doubt about it.
Huge pick. I mean, he's going to be able to fit in that backcourt so nicely. He's a do-it-all player, sneaky athletic, can hit the 3 ball at a high clip. He's going to fit in very nicely there in that backcourt.
Yeah, and listen, they needed a guy like that. They play a AAU style of play where it's a lot of up and down. You got Jalen Green, Jabari Smith. As I thought we were getting news there, but apparently they're adjusting the Gary Harris contract, so take that back. Yeah, Tracker's updated with the new Gary Harris deal. But, these are solid moves to help him get, better on the margins. Aaron Holiday played pretty well last year. Jay Sean Tate, him. I'm sleeping on this one guy's name. He's always in the latest trade rumors for the Rockets. Not Şengün.
Oh my God, I know who you're talking about too.
Is it Jay Sean? No, it's not Jay Sean Tate. No. Thinking of a player on the hold on, let me look up their roster real quick.
Yeah. And the thing is you look at the shooting, man, Reed Shepherd's going to be able to provide that. If you're Houston, you got
Tari Eason.
Tari Eason, yeah. Of course, Tari Eason. Yeah.
Big fan of his game. Big fan of his game. Yeah, but I mean, I think the Rockets, they're set up to go all in on a star here in the near future. Let's just say the Suns have another disastrous season. Maybe they send a boatload of picks and young prospects for a guy like Devin Booker or whatever it may be. But yeah, we'll see. Rockets are definitely setting themselves up to be pretty good here, over the next 3 to 5 seasons.
Yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, you've got a really young core nucleus there. It'll be interesting to see how they use Şengün, because Şengün's one of those players you either build around or you kind of have to realize what you mean, because those guys can get up and down in Houston. I mean, Jalen Green and the whole crew.
Great
and now you add Reed
transition.
Shepard to that. So I know Şengün's really effective in the half court. Is he going to be in their plans long term? It's something I'm going to be interested in seeing from Ime Udoka.
He would be a great piece just to throw into a trade where it's like,
100%.
man, we're getting Şengün and multiple first-round picks. Like, that's a pretty good package Houston, could cough up.
Yeah, because the rest of the team, I mean, Jabari Smith too, like they're to get up and down. They can defend.
Like even the Thompson, twin they got now, he likes to get up and down. But we'll see. We'll see. But guys, make sure you are subscribed. We got 1,500 people watching on the main side of things. I guarantee you, not all of you guys have hit that subscribe button. So if you guys could lock us in as your go-to. Oh, we got another Beers Cheers. 250 likes. Shout out to you guys. Appreciate y'all liking the show. Let's go. And Bulls crossed over 60 likes. So shout out to all the Bulls fans. Yeah, but keep on supporting the show, guys. Just like the video once you get on in here. Really helps us out here at Chat Sports. And, of course, we appreciate it. So cheers all of you guys.
Salud.
All righty. Do you guys want to get into – oh, yeah. I like this. Yeah, let's look at this. Then you want to get into cut pretty soon here?
Yep.
Yeah, so we're going to look at the top free agents right here real quick. And then we're going to talk about the latest trade rumors around the NBA. But, hey, Bulls fans, I mean, number one free agent out there is – no doubt, DeMar DeRozan. We were getting reports earlier that the Miami Heat are showing interest in him. Obviously, we know, the Lakers are showing interest in DeMar DeRozan as well. I think it'd be a good piece for either of those organizations. It's just going to come down to what type of deal does DeMar want to sign. If it's a 1-year deal, it won't be a sign and trade. But obviously, if it is a 3-year deal, I could easily see that being the case for DeMar DeRozan. As he was still awesome for the Bulls the past 3 seasons. Even dating back to that 2021 year where the Bulls were sitting at the top of the Eastern Conference for the first 35 games, DeMar was putting up MVPs numbers. 27.9 points per game, 5 assists, very efficient as well. And the thing I love about DeMar DeRozan as he's entered the later part of his career is he's shown self-awareness. He has shown an ability to adapt to where the modern-day NBA game is going. This past season, even though it was only 33.3% from downtown, he took a whole lot more threes. He showed an ability to knock it down from the corners especially. So, DeMar, he's still a tremendous basketball player, and I think he would be, a big-time, help to whatever team gets him, whether it's the Lakers or the Miami Heat. But number 2 for me is, one of my favorite guards in the NBA, Tyus Jones. He's got one of the highest assist-to-turnover ratios in NBA history, and I think, just naturally being on the Washington Wizards this past season, I feel like people, didn't really understand how truly good he was. He is one of the best guards, we have in terms of running an offense in the NBA. 12 points a game, 7.3 assists, able to, get a couple of steals, hands in the passing lanes type of guy, but also very efficient as well. 48.9% from the field, 41.4% from the deck. He has always been, a very efficient basketball player. So, Tyus Jones, I don't know where he could go. Colin, do you have a sneaky team maybe?
Believe it or not, before, the Spurs signed Chris Paul, I would have said San Antonio.
Spurs would have been a great call. Yeah.
But now,
maybe Denver off the bench.
Denver could use him. I instantly thought Memphis could compete there, behind Ja.
Yeah, go back to Memphis.
Yeah, go back to Memphis, right. Yeah. So, a couple options. Denver's honestly a great shout. It really is. They need the depth. It's somebody that can come in, run the offense when Jamal Murray goes to the bench. So I don't hate that at all.
Yeah, no, definitely. But number 3 on our list is Caleb Martin, forward from Miami Heat, obviously best known as having a fantastic Eastern Conference Finals 2 years ago when the Heat didn't make the NBA Finals. But, Caleb Martin, one of the better role players we have in the league, very aggressive on defense, can move his feet pretty well. And, he's shown some ability to knock down the three-point shot, shooting around 35% over the last couple of years. But this is just a guy, he's not going to be a total needle mover, just to come in, help you get better on the margins. And, he could be an interesting option for some of these contending teams. But a player I'm actually a huge fan of, Colin, Gary Trent Jr., I feel like he's pretty underrated.
Very underrated. A lethal shooter, can definitely help space the floor, can run either the point or the off-guard position.
Yeah.
I think he's 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah, 6'4", got decent size, but a great shooter. Gary Trent, I see. That's why when we're looking at all these free agents, man, there are still a lot of good names out there. I mean, these numbers are actually ridiculous. I feel like he's one of the most underrated players in the league.
Easily.
I mean, being a damn near, 15 a game guy for the last 4 seasons and always incredibly efficient as well. I mean, 40% from 3 this past season on 13.5 points a night. I mean, that's good stuff.
Yeah. And I mean, he's always going to be somebody that you can rely on to give you supplemental scoring, obviously averaging, in the teens. And again, he's not going to blow you away, but he's definitely somebody that any team would take off their bench.
Yeah, no doubt. But speaking of shooters, we can kick it to Buddy Hield here. Was traded from the Indiana Pacers to this Philadelphia 76ers this past season. Buddy Hield, he kind of got played out of the rotation a little bit in Philly, this past season. Did step in, have a couple key moments, in that Knicks playoff series. But, Buddy Hield would be an interesting guy. Wonder if he would consider going back to Philly after the moves they just made. But maybe the signing of Eric Gordon kind of flushes them out. I don't know. Do you have any teams off the top of your head that you could see targeting Hield? The Mavs?
Mavs wouldn't be a bad one. I mean, really any team. Yeah. I mean, Philly.
He's from Dallas? Oh, lives in Dallas. Gotcha.
I know we talked about the Bulls before, they kind of committed to this whole youth movement. I mean, Buddy Hield could still technically kind of fit that timeline, but 76ers going back there, I mean, finish what he started. I mean, going back with now PG. I mean, if you have on the floor PG, Buddy Hield, Tyrese Maxey with Embiid that can stretch the floor.
That'd be great, man.
I mean, they got a lot of shooters.
Yeah, maybe even he goes back to Sacramento or something. I could see them being interested. So, but also another guy I'm a big fan of, Villanova Wildcat Saddiq Bey, is coming off the torn ACL, but he is expected to make a full recovery. But typical 3-and-D guy, as I'll kick into this, Colin. Does he have the most random 50-point game in NBA history?
That and Corey Brewer, to be honest.
Corey Brewer's got it. Malachi Flynn is definitely up there. We should do a power ranking of the most random 50-point games in NBA history. I actually think Malachi Flynn takes it as number 1, but Saddiq Bey's got to be up there.
Corey Brewer.
Minnesota Timberwolves Derrick Rose
has
to be up there. I almost was shedding a tear when that happened. I think it was on Halloween night, 6 years ago now. But hey, Saddiq Bey, great basketball player. Really got good size on him. Can knock down the 3-point ball, pretty well, even though he did have a down shooting year, this past season at 31.6%. But I think this would be a great guy for any NBA contender, that truly just wants to have another 3-and-D player on their roster. But what about a guy who had a career shooting year this past season? Malik Beasley. One of the best corner 3-point shooters we have in the NBA. Obviously, when you're playing next to Giannis and you have guys like Dame, you're going to get a lot of those open shots. But, man, I mean, Malik Beasley lit it up last season. That's why you just look at this list. There are so many shooters out there. There are so many guys that can get it done on both sides of the floor. And we're just kind of in this waiting point right now. What do you think is the biggest domino?
The biggest domino.
It's probably DeRozan, you would assume.
DeRozan is holding people up for sure. I mean, honestly, if I'm looking back at this list, I could see Caleb Martin getting somewhat a big bag. I could see Gary Trent Jr.
Gary Trent could get a bag.
Yeah, Buddy maybe could get a decent one. I mean, Malik Beasley is no consolation prize by any means. I mean, he is a guy that could come in, give you really great production, shot over 40% from 3 last year. I mean, imagine him on the Mavericks. Maybe even the Lakers could stretch the floor a little bit, depending on what they do. I mean, a lot of different options for Malik Beasley.
Yeah, no, I like Beasley. Obviously, a great corner 3-point guy. We'll just be curious to see where he goes. But Miles Bridges coming up next. Obviously he had the off-the-court issues a couple of years ago. Obviously that's going to impact his free agency right here because, if you just look at the numbers, this dude should have been signed already. Mm-hmm. This dude should have been making a pretty penny, but there's obviously reasons he's not.
Right.
I wouldn't bring him to my basketball team. I just don't like the fit, with whatever locker room it is. But, I mean, maybe if you are a team that necessarily doesn't care about that, then you could bring him in, but
he's definitely somebody that, you have to have a great culture set in your locker room already. Somebody maybe with a leadership kind of strong voice that could maybe, again, just try to make sure he stays in the right lane, just keeps his head straight and, focuses on ball. Because that's ultimately, at the end of the day, what these guys should be focusing on.
Yeah. As a Illini 374 saying, there's no bigs. Well, we got a big up next. Precious Achiuwa of the New York Knicks was a part of that RJ Barrett deal where OG Anunoby was sent to the New York Knicks. But Precious was pretty good for the Knicks last year. They obviously were killed, because of injury. So he had to step in, play some timely, basketball, and he was pretty good. Moves his feet pretty well for a big fella, decent finisher around the rim. And again, this is a great option as a backup 4, backup 5-man for whatever team, ends up signing. But what about Taurean Prince here? I thought Taurean Prince was terrible for the Lakers this past season. Yeah, just call it like it is. I thought Darvin Ham played him way, way too much. Should have went more towards the Rui Hachimura route. But, the numbers don't look bad. It's not.
Yeah. It's so funny that you say that because Rolly was like, I'm actually pretty high on Taurean Prince.
He just didn't watch the Lakers last year. Taurean Prince was awful last year for the Lakers. Couldn't guard anybody. Was a minus defender.
Yeah. I will say Darvin Ham went to him a lot during late game situations,
yes.
late game lineups he would be featured in. If he's more in kind of like your 7th, 8th man rotation off the bench.
Then that's cool, yeah.
But way too. I don't even know what to say. He was put in a lot of situations that I don't think he was ready for. And that's numbers look good. He shot 40% from 3, but he was overplayed last season. But he could still be a good guy to help you get better on the margins. 100%. He still has value. I just from a Lakers perspective, I know Lakers fans weren't, Lakers fans weren't the biggest fans of him, so I'll kind of default to them. But what about Gordon Hayward? Obviously, his role in Oklahoma City did not, fit what he wanted. Even Sam Presti talked about it after the season that, they mismanaged that situation. But, I still think Gordon Hayward could be effective. Just a guy off the bench who can, you can throw the ball to and he can create some offense. Yeah, I don't know. I think he also needs to take a step back and realize, hey, where he's at in the stage of his career. Again, there were two sides of that story in Oklahoma City, but it seemed like Gordon thought he was a higher player than what he may be at this point in his career. You look at it, man. He couldn't even average 10 points a game. I get it that Gordon Hayward, the player of old, could easily, be a really good contributor to this team. And maybe if you want to take a shot in the dark, I get it. But, you're really shooting at the bottom of the barrel for this one.
Yeah, as we are getting a report from Casey Johnson that the Bulls are open to helping the Lakers facilitate a sign and trade for DeMar DeRozan, as Casey is saying the Lakers' interest is genuine, and the Bulls are open to sign and trade possibilities, sources confirm, but any sign and trade would have to be at least 3 years and at less annual salary than DeRozan wants. So, picking up a little bit there of DeRozan heading to the Los Angeles Lakers. But we can kick it along here. Mo Wagner, center for the Orlando Magic, had a pretty good year last year. I'll tell you what, he would be a good backup big. I could see the Knicks being interested in him after they did lose Hartenstein in free agency. And, no news on Precious returning to New York just yet. But, I think he'd be a good backup option, for whatever team, ends up signing him. But Hayward Highsmith, forward from Miami Heat. Again, just another typical Miami Heat culture role player. Plays really hard. Can knock down the open 3 when he is, in that opportunity. But I don't know. I feel like Highsmith is going to be one of those guys that gets overpaid. Once he's outside of Heat culture, I could definitely see his play taking a dip. But what about a shooter here, Luke Kennard? Kennard's an interesting player, man, because love his jump shot. Can definitely light it up. Definitely a cone on defense as well. And, I could see the Grizzlies actually wanting to bring him back as they don't necessarily have a true shooter on. Obviously, Bane can knock it down, but, he gets it done in, a plethora of different ways. So I could see, Kennard returning, to Minnesota. But speaking about a jump shot that isn't as pretty, Kyle Anderson here coming in at 15. One of the most unique basketball players I think I've ever seen in my life.
100%.
He plays the game. It is just different than everybody else. I'm like, where did Kyle Anderson go to college? If you guys know in the chat, you let us know. First one to get it will get a shout out.
I do.
Do you know where he went?
I have hands off people. I know exactly where he went to college.
Go for it. UCLA. Okay. That is the last school I would expect. Kyle Anderson.
I don't know where I knew how I found that out.
UCLA. Well, shout out to Carter Joey. Actually, a lot of people got UCLA. All right, maybe I just don't know that. Shout out to Otto as well. DeMar to LA is crazy. Well, Jordan, it's looking like the Bulls might help facilitate a little sign-in trade for DeMar DeRozan. Yeah, I guess a lot of people knew Kyle Anderson went to UCLA. Guess I was sleeping on that. But shout out to Gavin. Ed Sheerden also in the chat. Ability Shy saying Bulls always get the scraps. SMH. You just talking about a possible trade here for DeMar DeRozan? You're saying the Bulls are getting, the scraps? Game Master saying LaVine to the Pelicans. I don't think that would work. What you think, Patrick? I'm gonna call you Pat now for sure. Hey, call me what you want, Game Master. That's fine with me. I just don't think LaVine to the Pelicans makes too much sense. For either side of it, because the Bulls want to go towards this youth movement, more of a rebuild. So I'm not sure they would want, obviously, Brandon Ingram, and also I don't think it's the best fit for LaVine down there in New Orleans. But hey, I actually wouldn't hate it as well. Otto saying I'm from LA, so I should know. Well, there you go, Otto. There you go. Possible needs for my Rockets coming in from Steel as we just crossed over 2,000 people watching. Shout out to all of you guys. You know what? I think we should get 2,000 goes going in the chat.
100%.
We have 2,000 people watching.
Let's go.
If everybody just types go one time, we're going to blow this chat rate record out of the water. We got nearly 300 people watching on Bulls.
Spam 'em.
You guys type go. Everybody on Chat Sports type go as well. I'll be giving the shout-outs to every single person that types go right now. Let's break YouTube a little bit. I want my laptop to stop working with how much goes are coming in the chat. So if you guys could help us out, type those goes in the chat. As I see Jacob, Aiden again, Malvin, Mike, Jeff, Power Plays, Polo, Jacob, Mike Dibble in the chat. What's up, Mike Dibble? That's a name I recognize. Tristan, Paulo, Gavin Skipper, Game Master, Jeff Conception, Gavin Skipper again, Janet, everybody, keep typing those goes. We're going to see if we can beat our chat rate record of 162. I'm going to see what we're at right now. We're at 96, so we're there. We need to keep going, though. We need to keep going. Let's get to 200. Let's get to 200. Come on.
Let's freaking go.
My laptop may stop working here in a second. You guys are killing it. Keep going. Appreciate you. Carlos, Tony, Jose, Carlos again, Static 2K, King,
Jeremiah. We got Jordan, Mike, Dylan, Robert, Unknown, Aiden. Shout out to you guys. Will, Sharp, Crazel.
Let's go.
Dashim, Tim, Dion. Shout out to all you guys. Brylan.
Appreciate
Willie.
it. Let's go.
Keep going. Keep going. We're almost there.
Oh, we're at 460 on the chat rate.
Let's go.
We're at 460.
Let's freaking go.
There we go. Let's see if the Bulls channel, what do we get up to there? We got up to 146.
Let's go.
Good stuff, fellas. Need to get some type of juice as the NBA is just taking the day off. But we are going to be getting into some trade rumors around the whole NBA. So stay tuned for that. We're going to highlight cut this, right? All right, yeah. So we're going to be diving into some trade rumors around the NBA. Let me just pull this script up real quick. But appreciate everybody tuning in. Make sure you guys have liked this video. It really helps us out here. Push this out to... I got devastating news. One of my favorite players in NBA history, Kemba Walker, just retired. Wow. Mavs legend, Celtics legend, obviously, known for his run with the UConn Huskies. One of the coolest documentaries, if you guys haven't seen it, of Kemba's 11-game, or no, it was Kemba. The 11-game run where they went and won the Big East tournament, went on to go win it all, but dang, Kemba Walker, one of the best handle in NBA history. That's devastating, man. That's devastating. Kemba, shout out to you. You know what? Cheers to Kemba. You guys got a beer. Cheers it to Kemba. One of the most entertaining. Pour it on to Kemba. Pour it all over my laptop. Alrighty. Yeah, thank you, Kemba, coming in from Jordan. Yeah, great moments. Would you like DeMar for Jovic? Gavin Skipper, 100%. If you could get anything for DeMar at this point, Bulls should take it. But we are going to be diving into the top trade candidates around the NBA. So Bulls fans, we're going to talk a little more general NBA here, and everybody, watching on the main side of things. We'll be talking, about the latest trade rumors. So make sure you guys do stay tuned. We got 15 names that we think could be dealt this offseason. As Dylan Jones saying, Hornets should retire Kemba's jersey. I don't know about that. I don't know if you've done enough for that franchise, but Yug saying Celtics rumors, please. Celtics are just going to run it back. I don't think there's, You said what? Yeah, selling the team. That's the biggest, news rumors piece from there.
I've got your rumor. Let's start a rumor here on NBA Now by Chat Sports.
Go for it.
Should Dave Portnoy buy the Boston Celtics?
Should Dave? That's a great thought, Sam. I could definitely see that being the case. Like,
I don't think he has the money, but can he lead some sort of ownership group?
100%. Yeah. I could definitely see that. Like, have Portnoy kind of be the face of it. Like, that's an interesting thought. But yeah, we're gonna be diving into the latest trade candidates. Y'all ready to go? Let's do it. What's going on, guys? Welcome in the NBA Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman. Coming up on today's show, we're going to be going over the top 15 trade candidates after the first few days of NBA free agency, as some definite big-time moves could be on the horizon for the NBA. But hey, if any of those trades end up going down, we will have you covered here right away at Chat Sports. So there's no better time to make sure you guys are subscribed here to the channel and also turn on those notifications so you get that notification right on your phone just in case any news ends up breaking. So subscribe today, but let's just dive right into it. So number one here, we're going to be talking about Darius Garland. And, after the Cavs' decision early on this morning of extending Donovan Mitchell to the 3-year, $150 million deal, maybe they could be looking to break up this backcourt of Garland as Mitchell as, I think they have kind of reached their ceiling. And I think if the Cavs want to, ever get back to the NBA Finals, I think it would be probably best interest in them to, get maybe a player who is better playing off ball than Garland. And, Garland can definitely do it, but I think he's better with the ball in his hands. So I could see him being on the way out of Cleveland. But Darius Garland, I think, is one of the more underrated players in the NBA. I think, Donovan Mitchell, coming to Cleveland definitely, hindered his development a little bit. But you look back at that 2021 season when he was an all-star, averaging 21.7 points per game and nearly 9 assists on incredible efficiency. If I was the Lakers, I would be calling Cleveland trying to get this deal done. So Darius Garland could be a player that could be on his way out. But what about Lauri Markkanen? This is the hot name that we've heard reports on. We've heard the Warriors being interested in Markkanen. We've heard a countless number of teams. Even the Minnesota Timberwolves, for example, they were reported to be interested in Markkanen. And I think he has gone, frankly underrated amongst NBA media circles. Like, I think Markkanen's one of those guys where he could be the second best option on a championship team, no doubt about it. And if he would ever end up with the Golden State Warriors, with how their offense is ran, with a lot of player movement, a lot of off-ball movement, I think that's where we could see Markkanen really, really thrive. And the thing I love about Lauri the most, we've seen the development. He is night and day from the player he was when he was with the Chicago Bulls. That 2020 season, his last season with Chicago, 13.5 points a game, 5.3 rebounds. Then you kick it to this past season, he was fantastic. 23.2 points a night, almost 10 rebounds, 48% from the field, and 40% from downtown. I think Lauri, he's an underrated athlete, and people view him as, sort of a cone on defense. I kind of disagree with that. I think he's got good size, can move his feet, decently well, where he can at least hold his own, switching on the guards on the perimeter. So Markkanen, if I was a team like the Warriors, I'd be going all in on Lauri. But what about a guy like Jeremy Grant? Now, we did get reports that the Lakers are interested in a Jeremy Grant trade. I don't understand that at all from the Lakers side of things. I think if they're going to make a big-time move, it should be a guard that can score over the top. But maybe they look at a guy like Jeremy Grant, who, I'll tell you what, he's been actually having a pretty good run here with the Portland Trailblazers. Last year, in 34 minutes a night, 21 points a game, very efficient as well. Actually shot 40+% from downtown this past season. So, Jeremy Grant has been the definition of consistency over the past 4 years, always averaging around, 20 points a game, pretty efficient over the last 2 seasons specifically. So, maybe it's a team like the Lakers. I can't really figure out what other team, maybe even like a team like the Cavaliers if they want to go all in on a certain guy. But, Jeremy Grant, I could definitely see him, being on the way out of the Portland Trailblazers. But a name that I could definitely see, being dealt here, what about Brandon Ingram of the New Orleans Pelicans? As, after they did trade for DeJounte Murray, my initial thoughts were maybe they want to try to go on a run with this big four they have of DeJounte, CJ, Zion, and Ingram. And, Ingram's an interesting player because, a couple of years ago when he, made his playoff debut versus the Phoenix Suns, when the Pelicans were the 8th seed and the Suns were the 1 seed, he led that Pelicans team to go head-to-head with them for 6 games. So, he was great in that postseason run, but this past year in the postseason against the Thunder, he was terrible. I mean, only averaging 14 points a game, wasn't efficient at all, so it's kind of tough to determine what type of player Ingram is in the playoffs. But I think he's a very underrated playmaker. He has the height to see over the top of the defense, can make easy reads, and, he's been a 20-point-a-game guy, over the last 4 years pretty easily. Always been pretty efficient as well, but, not really too sure. Like, we've heard, like, the Kings could be interested in, a player like Brandon Ingram. Maybe the Lakers try to get him to return. Not really too sure there, but I could definitely see Ingram being the next player traded during this NBA offseason. But you guys let me know who would be the next player traded. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments section. If I had to predict it, if I'm not choosing DeMar DeRozan of a sign and trade, I'll go – actually, I'll stick with that. I will go Brandon Ingram for that. But let's kick it to Karl Anthony Towns here. Timberwolves got some decisions to make. Cat signed that extension 2 off seasons ago, and he is getting paid. And Cat's a great second option for the Minnesota Timberwolves, but maybe they could be looking to split up the, dynamic duo of Gobert and Cat in that front court. And, I saw floated out there like a potential Cat for Lauri Markkanen trade. I don't really think that would change much for the Minnesota Timberwolves, but Cat, hell of a shooter, one of the best shooting big men, we have in the NBA right now. And, he's been consistent over the past 4 years. What was shocking, though, when I heard Cat, he's going to be entering his 10th season in the NBA. The fact that he is going to be a 10-year veteran, like, time is flying by right now. But, Cat, he still makes, like, the, simple, rookie mistakes out there on the basketball court. Maybe Minnesota could just be looking to get a better fit at that 4 spot because maybe they think, Gobert and Cat, can we really win an NBA championship with that being the front court? But what about Kyle Kuzma here, one of the goofiest dudes in the NBA, but, a pretty consistent 20-point guy this past season. Put up really good numbers. I mean, in 32.6 minutes per game, was able to average 22+. Wasn't that efficient from downtown, but, I think Kuzma's the typical, good stats, bad team guy, and that's what he's been with the Washington Wizards. He got his bubble ring with the Lakers and, decided to go to Washington and fill up the stat sheet. But, I mean, he would definitely be a guy like where a team could maybe view him as a potential 3rd, 4th best player on a championship contending team. Have a guy who can knock it down from downtown. Even though he did shoot 33% this past season, he still has great 3-point shooting ability. But what about Colin Sexton here, guard for the Utah Jazz? We heard the Timberwolves being possibly interested in him, but he was pretty good last season for Utah. I mean, really filled up the stat sheet. Probably the best statistical season of his career so far, dating back to his days with the Cleveland Cavaliers. But, he could be a 20-point-a-game guy, pretty efficient from downtown, shooting nearly 40% from 3 the past 2 seasons. And we really saw the upgrade in his playmaking ability this past season, averaging 4.9 points per game. But let's kick it to Chicago here as they've been, the center of the latest NBA trade rumors. I'm going to stick with Nikola Vucevic here. We heard before the draft happened that the Grizzlies could be an option for Vooch, but with them drafting Edey, I think that's unlikely. The team I could see interested are actually 2 teams. I'll go the New Orleans Pelicans as the most likely choice, and then what about a team like the New York Knicks? After they lost out on Isaiah Hartenstein, not sure if Tom Thibodeau would want a guy like Vooch, at that center position as he is a negative defender. But maybe the Pelicans, could be a team as well. So, Vooch, he can fill up the stat sheet, man. I mean, damn near averaging the same thing for the last 3 seasons. But, the thing about Vooch, he takes way too many threes. He was almost averaging 4 per game last season. He shot 29% from 3. And plus, with him being a negative asset on the defensive side of the floor, it's going to be tough for the Bulls to move Vooch, but, maybe a team could get desperate for a center. But talk about a player that's going to be tough to move. Zach LaVine. This dude's name has been floated around in the latest trade rumors for the last 3 seasons now. And, this past year was definitely his worst year with his tenure with the Chicago Bulls, only putting up 19.5 points per game. Wasn't the most efficient. Did leave the season did end early due to injury, but LaVine, I don't want to call him underrated, but I do think people forget who this guy really is. I think people think he is a negative asset, like as a whole, and maybe if you include his contract, I get what you're saying. But I mean, the 3 seasons before last, 25 a game guy on damn near 50% from the field and 40% from three. You're telling me like a team like the Warriors wouldn't love that in their backcourt, or even maybe like a team like the Kings having that, next to a guy like, De'Aaron Fox. So, LaVine, it'll be interesting if he gets traded, but, it's going to be tough for the Bulls to pull off that move. But what about a guy like Bruce Brown here, as he did opt into that player option of around $20+ million. Bruce Brown's a guy that I think will get dealt at the trade deadline. I don't think he's going to be an off-season trade, but, Bruce was great for the Denver Nuggets in that one postseason run. Was a great defender, really strong, has a really strong chest that just helps him, cut off defenders when they're trying to turn that corner on him. So if you're a championship team, want a good point of attack guy, Bruce Brown's probably your option. But Andrew Wiggins is on here for the main reason that if the Warriors are going to want to pull off a big-time deal, Wiggins is going to get involved. He's got a $26 million cap hit for this next season, so it's going to be super easy for the Warriors to match salary with that deal. And, Wiggins, people forget, he was the second-best player in that finals that the Warriors won a couple of years ago. And, obviously he has fallen off a little bit this past season. We've heard the off-the-court issues and drama, surrounding his name. But, he's a guy, can play some high-level defense, hit the glass pretty hard, and, can also be pretty efficient if he's given, the right looks there. But speaking of the Warriors, will the Warriors make the finals ever again with Steph Curry? If I had to call it right now, I'm going to say no, but I would guarantee I could be on, freezing cold takes here if the Warriors make a big-time move, here shortly. But, hey, you guys let me know. Will the Warriors make the finals again? Why for yes and for no? Now, Jarrett Allen next up. We've heard his name tossed in the trade rumors early on this offseason. And, if I was a team that didn't have a center, like maybe the Chicago Bulls, I would be very interested in a guy like Jarrett Allen. Probably not going to get dealt, though. I think the Cavs are going to try to run it back with this team. The only player I could see get dealt is a guy like Darius Garland, just to switch up that backcourt. But he's a tremendous player, man. Always been a 15-point-a-game guy. Great at protecting the rim. Great lob threat. And, that archetype of center is one I would prefer over a guy like, obviously, Nikola Vucevic, where he's an offensive-minded guy. But I would prefer a guy like, Jarrett Allen on my team over, just about any center in the league. But let's kick it to D'Angelo Russell here. He did opt into his player option this past season, making around $18.7 million. And if the Lakers are going to want to, pull off a trade for Trae Young, Darius Garland, or whoever it may be, this is probably the guy that's going to get dealt. So, D'Angelo Russell, he can fill up the stat sheet in the regular season. He can average his 18. He can average his 7 assists. But, I just think D'Lo with his postseason struggles, Lakers will be looking to move on. But we can fly through the last two here. Cam Johnson, forward for the Brooklyn Nets. After they decided to blow this up, he could be a player that teams could look at as a, guy that will help you get better on the margins, 3-and-D guy who can really light it up from downtown. But what about Russell Westbrook? Because we heard the Denver Nuggets could be interested in him. I actually wouldn't hate the fit in Denver, like just a guy that can come in, bring energy off the bench. As we know, the Denver Nuggets, didn't have really the best bench play from this last season. So we've heard them interested in Russell Westbrook, but yeah, we'll see what the Clippers decide to do there. But guys, make sure you are subscribed here to Chat Sports on YouTube. If any trade goes down, we'll keep you guys posted with everything, the details, the live reaction, whatever it may be. So hit that subscribe button, lock us in, and we'll see you guys next time. All right, you guys let me know who will be the next player traded. Jordan saying Westbrook to Denver is crazy. Yeah, they're definitely a team that I could see, being interested in Westbrook, as I think it was Chris Haynes reported that being the case. But we did get some news while we were in that cut. Mo Wagner signing a 2-year, $22 million deal to return to the Orlando Magic. So they're keeping that front court together, Bitadze and Wagner. So Magic going to run it back with the same group that they had last year, just, adding KCP obviously being a huge addition. I also forgot they got Tristan Da Silva as well at pick 18. I do like that move there. But I don't know. I think the Magic are ramping up here. Like I've really like the moves they have made. So, yeah, we'll see. But this is the Super Chat menu. If you guys want to get your thoughts on screen, $2 Super Chat comes in. We'll talk about it. $5, we'll spin the wheel. And then we'll make a deal here. If somebody sends in a $5 Super Chat, we'll give you guys 2 spins, a little 2-for-1 there. But also, if you guys want us to pull out some tequila, Fireball, whatever it is, $20 We'll take a shot, and then, hey, maybe we'll shotgun a beer and for 50. The shot, we'll take a shot. Oh, man, so no real news again today. This is incredible. Shocker. Like, when are these guys going to sign? It is going to be on the 4th of July. Yeah. Yeah, we'll dive into some DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine stuff here as, the Bulls got to blow it up eventually, right, fellas? Like the rebuild's got to happen soon enough. We already got reports that DeRozan's going to be leaving Chicago. And, could it be a sign and trade? Obviously, if it has to be a 3-year deal for that being the case. But, yeah, maybe it's just DeRozan leaves, signs a 1-year deal with the Miami Heat. I could see that being the situation. But, yeah, the Bulls offseason, I love the pick of Modest Buzelis at pick 11. Got a little lucky that he was able to fall to pick 11, but I like that move. But, hey, you guys see the additions. Patrick Williams, 22 years old. Josh Giddey, 21. Jalen Smith, 24. Obviously, Torrey Craig, the infamous double dunk attempt with Andre Drummond, opted into his $2.8 million deal. So he's back in Chicago, but they did lose Caruso, did lose Andre Drummond as well. And, as we know, the talks between the Lakers and DeMar DeRozan are heating up. That was coming in from Chris Haynes. It's from NBA Central, saying it will either take a 1-year deal or a sign and trade where you can get a 3-year deal going. Talking about DeRozan heading to Los Angeles, but also the Miami Heat, the latest team today to get involved in the DeMar DeRozan sweepstakes. I would assume for DeRozan, this would probably be just a 1-year deal with the Miami Heat. That's what I would assume. I don't really think they would, want him on a 3-year deal, or it would just be tough in general to pull off a sign and trade, over there. But it also turns out, this is coming from Casey Johnson, who's very tapped in with the Bulls, works for NBC Sports Chicago. And, if Casey says something, it is most likely true. And he said the Lakers' interest is genuine and the Bulls are open to sign and trade possibilities. Sources confirm. Now, could this be a 3-team deal? I saw the idea floated out there where, the Brooklyn Nets were interested in D'Angelo Russell, where maybe it's like D'Lo goes to Brooklyn, Bulls get like Rui Hachimura, and then DeRozan ends up with the Lake Show. So I could see that being the case, but but more news on just a sign and trade. Any sign and trade has to be at least a 3-year deal, which is reportedly what DeMar DeRozan wants. But however, he would probably have to take less money on an annual salary. So if any sign and trades, would happen, it would obviously have to be a 3-year deal where our DeRozan is taking less. But also on the Zach LaVine front for Chicago, apparently the Kings and Warriors remain interested in a potential trade for Zach LaVine. I already know how this is going down. They probably are, for the Kings side of things, it is literally Harrison Barnes, Kevin Huerter for Zach LaVine. And the Kings are saying, we want your first-round pick for the future. Bulls are saying no. And that's where talks are right now. If I had to predict it, that's probably where I'm at. And I would hope the Bulls wouldn't be greedy enough to be like, hey, we want a first-round pick for Zach LaVine. If they can move off that contract, you do it. Because also, LaVine, he has a 15% trade kicker. So his $43 million next year actually goes up to 49. So keep that in mind when you're talking about Zach LaVine, trades. But you guys let me know, where will DeMar DeRozan sign here in free agency? If I had to call it, I'm probably going the Lakers. He gets to return home, play with LeBron James and Anthony Davis. I could definitely see that being the case. Is Stan in Black saying I look like the professor? You have no idea how many times I've gotten that, and I do not see it whatsoever. So, dude, the amount of times
I haven't honestly heard that, but honestly, that is so true.
Dude, the amount of times I've gotten this, anytime I would go live on Bulls during the season, everybody would say, you look like the professor. And I'm like, man, I wish I had the handles the professor had, but yeah, Grayson Busher. Yeah, Boucher. Yeah, I mean, I could kind of see it, but I don't know. But yeah, Zach LaVine, we could talk about him a little here. It's just the Bulls are clearly trying to move off him. They floated out 15 different trade offers for him. We heard that the Warriors turned down a deal of Andrew Wiggins and Chris Paul for Zach LaVine. And, if I were the Warriors, I probably would have accepted that deal. Why not? Try to take advantage of Steph Curry's, last couple of years here of playing at a top 10 player in the world, level. So I'm a little shocked that the Warriors said no to that because I still think LaVine is effective. Like, he's a good basketball player. Obviously, his contract is brutal. Not trying to dispute that. Like, there are a ton of red flags around Zach LaVine. The contract, his defense, his just, toxicity in the locker room. Like, that is all true. But also on the court, he is still one of the better three-level scorers we have at the guard position in the NBA. And I understand this last season did take a step back, but the 3 seasons before that, 24+ a game, very efficient from the field as well. Like, if I were a team, I honestly think, LaVine, you would be buying low on a guy who's got tremendous talent, a tremendous athlete as well. So, I could definitely see, LaVine maybe head into, Golden State, Sacramento. There's really only 2 teams that, we have heard, being really interested in the LaVine sweepstakes. But if you guys are superstitious, you guys will like this one. If you guys want your team to make the playoffs this season, make sure you guys have liked the video. We just crossed over 400 likes on Maine and 100 on the Bull side of things. So cheers to you guys. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Shout out to all the real ones. I've already had almost 20,000 people tune in on the Maine and almost 3,000 people on the Bulls side of things. So shout out to all of you guys. Appreciate you guys tuning in to one of the most boring NBA free agencies in NBA history. Just a lack of moves. Like, it's not even like there's not a lot of good players out there. Like, there's still a ton of good talent, out there. But, hey, we'll get some news eventually, hopefully. But let's kick it to Lauri Markkanen, as he has been the latest name thrown out there in the latest trade rumors, and, we've heard the Spurs and Warriors being interested. I'll tell you what, if the Spurs end up getting Lauri Markkanen, or even the Golden State Warriors, clap it up for those programs and those franchises, because I think that would be a great move. As also Evan is saying, rival executives believe there's a good chance the Jazz actually move Lauri Markkanen. Whenever you're making a deal with Danny Ainge here, fellas, and let's just call it like it is, Danny Ainge is going to win the trade. He is not going to sell short by any means, especially a player like Lauri Markkanen. I mean, it would have to be like a Gobert-esque haul to, I think, get Lauri off the Utah Jazz. Anytime you're making a deal with, there's 3 guys in the league that if they call your phone, you should probably hang up. Danny Ainge, Brad Stevens, Sam Presti. Hang up the damn phone. Like, the Jazz would get a good deal here. But also the Pelicans. How is this today? Yeah, this. How would that work? The Pelicans getting, would it be Ingram? Bye-bye, yeah. Brandon Ingram, I guess.
Ingram little trade.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that being the case. That would be interesting, though. Markkanen with DeJounte Murray. I think it would move the needle for the Pelicans. Because then if Zion stays healthy, you got Zion, Markkanen, DeJounte Murray, McCollum.
The Pelicans are such a greatest tease in the NBA. Like, they're always talking about
and then you still got the 2 young wings.
I know, yeah.
That's the third option.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Markkanen would move up to 2.
I'm about to say he could be 2.
I think I honestly think CJ will probably go to 4. I think DeJounte Murray will probably be up there. That would be an interesting move for the Pelicans. I think that would be that would give not another contender in the West, but they would be a team in the first round that you would not want to play, at all. That is true. But they were also 2-14 in close games, or clutch time games this past season. Having DeJounte Murray will help. But this was a quote. Michael Scotto coming in again. He said, over the next year or so, opposing executives believe the Jazz will either find another star to pair with Markkanen and attempt to compete at a higher level, or trade Markkanen while his value is at its highest and retool the roster in an attempt for future long-term sustainable success. So this could be a moment where got a split in the road right here, where it's like the Jazz are going to sell Markkanen at its highest, or maybe, hey, Jazz, come get Zach LaVine. I would absolutely love it. Make 2 former Chicago Bulls, the center of your NBA franchise. But also more on Markkanen. It's coming in from Hoops IP here. The Warriors, Kings, Spurs, and Timberwolves. Colin, how could would this be a Markkanen trade?
It would have to be. There's no other way I could see it happening. I mean, that's because here's the thing. I mean, obviously you're not having the 3-tower defense, right?
No,
because there's no way you could play all 3 of them on the court.
I mean,
Dude, that would be insane.
That would be insane.
That would be insane.
Is he like Jalen McDaniels on?
Honestly,
I mean,
yeah, it'd have to be a cat trade.
it would have to be a cat trade. You just
I think
move
it
off his
would.
contract if you're, Minnesota. Out of these 4 teams, what one would you like to see him go to?
Honestly, wouldn't mind him being with Wemby in San Antonio. I mean, that's just obviously
That'd be fun.
That'd
Yeah.
be fun. The Kings could be interesting. I mean, giving a nice
It would
little
be.
high-low action with, him and Domantas Sabonis could be
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, the Warriors is tempting.
Warriors is tempting, no doubt about it. I mean, especially with how their offenses ran. Like, Laurie would thrive, there in Golden State. And, I'm really hoping, just personally as an NBA fan, I'm really hoping we just don't see, Steph Curry's career just kind of dwindle down over the last couple of years. I'm hoping we see, I just want to see Curry in another Western Conference Finals.
I do.
That's all I want. Obviously, with where the West is right now, that's going to be incredibly challenging for
Yeah.
Golden State to even get close to that. But, adding a guy like Lauri Markkanen no doubt would help that case. I mean, he was great. I still think Lauri Markkanen is one of the most underrated players in the NBA. So we got people saying on the Bulls side of things, bring Lauri back to Chicago. I'm actually going to look up that trade again. When Lauri left the Bulls, that was... Oh, my God. Bulls got absolutely fleeced in that trade. It's also Bulls fans. Modest Buzelis is changing his number from 00 to 14. Absolutely love it. He was announced as 00. Now he's going to 14. But okay, so it was a 3-team. Oh, it's terrible. It was a 3-team deal where the Bulls got Dallas Mavericks legend Derrick Jones Jr. in that deal and a Portland Trailblazers lottery-protected first-round pick. That was one of the worst trades in Bulls franchise history. That was terrible. Considering if you date back, it was Lauri and Zach LaVine for Jimmy Butler originally when the Bulls moved off Butler. So, been a real rough stretch for Chicago Bulls fans. But, yeah, Jordan saying that's blasphemy. Yeah, no, that was not good. That was not good. That was actually a sign-in trade where Lauri signed his 4-year, $67 million deal. But Colin, let's get this going in the chat. We'll talk about your favorite team. If you guys could, start spamming your favorite team down in the comment section, and we will break it down.
Break it
Let's
down,
go.
break it down. Yeah, Seeps, I'll go first. I'll count you down. You want to?
Yeah, I got it. Let's get the chat
spam
going.
Getting some answers here.
Come on.
Come on.
Get the chat going. Get the chat going. All right, coming down from 5. I'll look at the chat.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, I got the Nuggets.
Okay.
We touched on the Nuggets a little bit earlier. Losing KCP is devastating for them.
It is.
I think,
Is Christian Brown ready to step up in that role?
you would hope so if you're Denver.
Right.
I think, 2 things for Denver. One, you got to get healthy. Jamal Murray wasn't healthy this past postseason run. And also, what was the biggest reason why they lost to the Timberwolves? Michael Porter Jr. played like shit. Just call it like it is. He was terrible. And I think if they want to take that next step, you're probably banking on, MPJ, making that next move. I don't know. How do you feel about the Nuggets heading into the next season?
I think they are extremely top heavy. I think they have a good starting lineup, even with Brown kind of substituting in there, but it's just going to be a question of nutrition again, and can Nikola Jokic? I mean, we clearly saw last season. He's just not enough by himself, even with Jamal Murray kind of being a little hampered.
Yeah.
I don't think what they have right now is good enough to just automatically assume they're even going to be in the Western Conference Finals, much less the NBA Finals. So I think they need to make some more kind of low-key moves like we were talking about. Maybe a Tyus Jones, maybe another shooter.
Tyus Jones would be great.
I mean, Tyus Jones running that, bench unit potentially with Malik Beasley coming off the bench or
That'd be
something.
good too. I'll tell you what, I would entertainment value, Russell Westbrook to Denver would be fun,
insane.
man. I do respect Westbrook, showing self-awareness in his game as him realizing he's not the same player he once was, him shifting to, coming off, being that guy off the bench that's just going to bring energy, fill up the stat sheet. Yeah. And I would be interested.
Keep your eye on number 22, the 22 overall pick,
Yeah.
Holmes. Because, again, we saw, last season with Derek Lively for the Mavs, big man rookies came in, gave productive minutes and everything. He's going to have to, give Aaron Gordon and Nikola Jokic, in my opinion, some valuable minutes off the bench to kind of give those guys some rest.
Definitely.
It'll be very interesting to see how they use Mr. Holmes.
No, Nuggets are an interesting team. I mean, it's so funny how differently we were talking about them last offseason as a team that could be a potential dynasty. And I think that's just kind of where the NBA is going. Like, and I think as NBA, like, as media members, like, we need to do a better job of, not obviously, we're going to overreact to the Boston Celtics winning it all. But I think people, like, and anybody's asked their finals prediction, who do you think's going to win it all? Everybody's just like, Celtics, 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 Celtics. And I think it all comes down to matchups. Like, I think that's what we're starting to realize. Like, and that's why the Celtics are a very dangerous team, is because they can match up with anybody. But we saw Denver this past year. It was just a tough matchup with the Timberwolves, and they blew a 20-point lead in Game 7 in the second round. So, maybe if they end up winning that game, do they go on to win it all? That's the biggest what if, from this past season. But, hey, let's do it again. Shout out your favorite team for me down in the chat. Cohen's going to look at the chat here in a second, so spam it up. I'll count them down here in a second, but get your favorite team down below in the comments section. Is he really?
Is he actually?
Sam Brown with a key note here. Kemba Walker, all-time leading scorer for the Charlotte Hornets. Did not know that. Jerry saying Zach LaVine, the Chat Sports TV for Patrick Siepman and Portillo's. Deal. Zach LaVine works at Chat Sports. I go to the Chicago Bulls. I think that's a fair trade. All right, Colin, you ready? I'm going to count you down from 5.
Make sure you swap salaries with them, too, by the way.
You said what?
I said make sure you swap salaries with them, too, by the way.
Yeah, I would love to swap salaries with Zach LaVine.
All right,
here we go. 5. I'm counting you down. I don't know what I'm doing. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Boom. I see the Warriors.
The Warriors? Let's do that. We already talked about the Warriors a little bit.
Boom. I got the Pistons.
Pistons? All right, let's talk about the Pistons.
Let's talk about the Pistons.
Detroit doesn't get enough love here.
Detroit basketball.
We will give the Pistons some love. No, they're picking
JB Bickerstaff. That's a
JB Bickerstaff, the most Pistons coach hire I think ever. Ron Howland was an interesting choice.
Yeah, we were doing obviously draft coverage on the Bulls channel, and we were shocked. That was the first big surprise of the night. So very interested to see how the G League Ignite product looks next to Cade Cunningham and the boys. But interesting.
I mean, Pistons needed to add shooting, and they did with Tobias Harris and Tim Hardaway.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like I mean, dude, it's like you needed to fix your foundation and you fix it with duct tape. Like, it's not really like fixing it. You know what I mean? Like, it's.
So they got
Tobias.
Obviously Cade running the 1.
Right. Okay. I see what you're going.
Trying to go through their lineup. Like Cade at the 1. Their 2 guard, probably Jaden Ivey.
Have to be, yeah.
Toby at the 3.
I mean, Toby could play the 4, to be honest.
Toby could play the 4. I don't know if they're going to start Howland at the 3 here.
They might, depending on how he looks.
Joshua Williams saying picking the trash teams. Damn, somebody's got to show the Pistons some love here, Josh. Come on, man.
You think ESPN's going to talk about the Pistons?
You think
Absolutely
ESPN
not.
has any Pistons graphics ready to go? No. Who's their 5?
It would have to be not Isaiah Stewart. It's
Lost Wise. Is it Bagley?
It might be.
I think it is Marvin Bagley as the Pistons 5-man.
It might be.
That's interesting.
Jalen
Duren. Oh,
Yeah,
Duren.
How would
Duh.
forget?
I love Jalen Duren.
Yep. Oh, Stewart.
Isaiah Stewart is a free agent.
There we go.
No, I love Jalen Duren. I see the thing is I love Cade. I actually like Ivy as a prospect. Maybe the Pistons could be.
Just need to convert it to win.
Maybe they could be sneaky. I don't know. But yeah, Willie saying Cade, Ivy, Harris. They also have the Thompson twin too. They got a lot of young talent, man. They got a lot of young talent. But let's kick it to some Lakers news here. It's coming from Evan Sidery. Is that what we decided? Sidery, whatever it is. But Evan, he tweeted this out. He said LeBron James was willing to take a $20 million pay cut in order for the Lakers to secure the full mid-level exception. Coming in from Woj, also noted. You want to go back to that real quick? My bad. There's a sense LeBron will take it year to year now on new contracts instead of a multi-year deal. Klay Thompson, Jonas Valanciunas appear to be the most realistic targets. Well, they lost out on both of them, so maybe they're looking at a guy, like LeBron James. I'll tell you what. Go to the SportsCenter tweet. Is LeBron James the best media manipulator in NBA history. Like, the fact that they got SportsCenter to tweet this out for them,
I'm so glad you brought this up.
it's incredible.
All three of these players have signed with teams not named the Los Angeles Lakers. So, a.k.a. LeBron's getting the max.
Oh, LeBron has the fact. This is so LeBron. I'll put it out there. I'm willing to take a discount. I'm going to be a team-friendly guy. And then, all three of these guys go somewhere else. And then LeBron's going to be getting $50+ million at the age of 40. As a Bulls fan, I've always, felt a certain way about LeBron after him knocking us out of the playoffs for, countless seasons back in the early 2010s. But yeah, McMenamin did tweet that out, that LeBron's willing to take a pay cut, but obviously all three of those guys are gone. We also did hear that he will be willing to take a pay cut for DeMar DeRozan as well. But let's get to this one, NBA Central. Great Twitter account to follow if you're a diehard NBA fan. They're a great aggregator, everything you need to know about the NBA, but they said the Lakers are discussing trades with the Blazers, Nets, and Jazz. It's too early to write the Lakers off, of course. There's always a chance they pull a rabbit out of the hat with a trader signing. Jovan Buhan, he's a writer for The Athletic. Totally disagree with you right there. If this was the old Lakers, yes. But this is the new Lakers. Like, this isn't your dad's Lakers, Colin. Like, this isn't like, the same team back in the day. They're a family-ran business at this point, and I don't know. I just think the Lakers are close to becoming one of the worst-ran franchises in honestly all of sports here shortly.
Shortly. I mean, post LeBron's going to look very interesting for them.
Very interesting.
Will Anthony Davis still be there? I mean, how are they going to, try to kickstart a rebuild, or maybe will they go in on a superstar? I mean, it's interesting, but I don't think you have less faith in a franchise of this quality than the Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Maybe it's Jeremy Grant. Maybe they try to get Cam Johnson, but is there a move out there where you're like, Lakers are a contender in the West?
The only thing, and again, this would just be a puncher's shot, and again, you'd have to at least entertain it. Was if the Hawks were willing to move off of Trae Young.
100%.
It would just be one of those Hail Mary, they're throwing it out there, we're gonna go all in on offense. I mean, Trae and LeBron at this stage are really kind of negative defenders at this point. Trae's always been. Now LeBron is.
LeBron, definitely.
And then you're just basically hoping Anthony Davis can stay healthy, be the best rim protector in the league, and you surround them with shooters.
And at least Trae Young and Anthony Davis would get you a good duo for even post LeBron. But yeah, Lakers are in a tough spot.
LeBron always talked about playing with Curry. You can get Steph Curry at home with
Steph
Trae
Curry.
Young. So.
Yeah. You can have the poor man Steph Curry and Trae Young. But also this coming in, they have been active in recent days discussing potential deals with Portland, Brooklyn, and Utah, among other teams. If I had to call it right now, I'm assuming the Lakers get DeMar DeRozan. I don't see why, if you were DeMar, you wouldn't want to come to LA. That's where you're from Compton, California, and you get to play with LeBron James and Anthony Davis. I'm shocked they haven't gotten a center yet in free agency, as AD has literally came out and said, I don't want to play the 5 anymore, and they've just blatantly ignored that over the past couple of years. So, as Josh saying, Ben Simmons to the Lakers, please, that would be hilarious. That would be good stuff.
That would be typical Lakers.
The main chat is hilarious right now. We got activities and Ronnie B just calling each other little bro back and forth. Love that out of you guys. You guys are kind of going at it over there, I see. Finney Smith to the Lakers with DeMar. See, that would actually be two moves where the Lakers, I'm looking at them a little differently. I'm with you. Dorian Finney-Smith, one of the better role players in the league, got great size, 6'7", super long wingspan. That can't be true. Oh, wow. So Bronny James, a little fun note here.
What are we hearing?
Bronny says a big reason why, listen to this, everybody lock in here for a second. Everybody, all 1,500 people right now lock in.
Lock in.
Why Bronny James is wearing number 9. Get your predictions down below in the chat, and we'll throw this tweet up here in a second. Why do you guys think Bronny James is wearing number 9? I'm really curious to see if anybody's going to be able to predict this.
Because his dad brings 6.
Let me know. Why is Bronny James wearing 9? This is for you guys are already getting in the main chat. Young Sergi's got it. Yeah. Oh wow, you guys are on this. I'm impressed. Upside down 6. Yeah, I mean that's what I thought originally. Yeah, but you guys let me know. Why is Bronny James wearing number 9? Yeah, Maurice Drake on the Bulls side of things saying that. But yeah, so this is a quote from Bronny saying Juice World, rest in peace, saying Juice has just been a big part of me keeping calm. So yeah, just paying homage to him, especially because he passed. I'll actually say that's pretty cool. Showing honor to the Juice World there. But yeah, Chicago legend Juice World, young DJ saying in the chat. So pretty cool. Bronny showing some respects to Juice World. Is this him at his press conference? He looks like a little kid in that photo. Like this looks like JJ. Why does this look so awkward?
It looks very awkward.
Like this is incredible.
JJ doesn't really know what he's supposed to be doing.
JJ's just standing there all weird. Like that's pretty funny.
Like look at that, man.
This looks like a teacher, giving like an 8th grader like some award at
walking across the stage graduating.
Yeah, walk across the stage. Why he got on glasses? Because he needs them. I don't know. Bro, he's so small. I mean, this is hilarious right here, guys. Yeah, but he's wearing number 9 for Juice World. It's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. But let's kick in this. We had some Bronny James talk right now. Will Bronny James make it in the NBA? You guys predict it for me down below. Give me a Y for yes or an N for no. Tokyo saying, wasn't that Luol Deng's number?
And also, like, when we ask this, like, make it to the NBA in terms of what? Like, he plays a game? Like,
I'm going to say he is a rotational player throughout an 82-game season.
Okay.
Like
a top 8, top 9?
Top 8 player in a rotation. Will Bronny ever get there?
Okay.
I have no idea.
No.
I have no idea.
I mean, it would be...
He's got the athletic tools to do so, which is, and, like, I still,
to be honest,
listen, your dad's effing LeBron. Like,
he is. He's gonna get playing time.
His dad's fucking LeBron James. All right, like, just call it like it is. Like, I'm kind of a Bronny James believer, but not anytime soon. Like, and also, I will shut down this one argument. I think it's one of the dumbest arguments that I've heard floated out there. Bronny James should have went back to college to develop. He is going to develop so much better with the Los Angeles Lakers organization. He's not going to have to go to classes. He's not going to have to focus on any of the extracurriculars out there. He would be able to stick in the Lakers organization. He's not going to play. He's just going to focus on his game. So I never understood that argument. Like, it just literally doesn't make sense. So, will he be able to develop into anything? We'll have to wait and see on that. But
I mean, if you're him, right, based on, like, his archetype, his build, and his play style, I mean, what's your, like, hope? Like, because I got a name in mind, but I just want to hear yours. Like, where do you think?
What's my hope for Bronny?
Like, ceiling. Like, where do you think, like, he does everything right, he puts the work in?
I think it's like a Deuce McBride type of thing. Like, really athletic guard. He's got a crazy vert.
Like Avery Bradley before the injury.
Yeah, all things Mavs saying define, make it. Is that we know who this is? All things Mavs. Jimmy.
What's up, Jimmy?
Yeah. Go for it, Sam.
Make it, I think, is what's the average? Let's look up. Hold on. Quick, bad radio. But what's the average NBA career length? Yes, let's go.
Average.
I got to type.
I got you.
5 years, right?
Average NBA career length. We're looking it up here, and Google's saying 4.5 years.
About
4.5 years. Okay.
Is that will LeBron play for 4.5 years in the NBA? And to be clear, I think it's play, right? It's not
play.
It's not first year in the G League that counts as a year.
Not South Bay Lakers, Los Angeles.
Either way, the answer is no.
Yeah, I don't know. It just depends. Who knows? Like, it's like drives me crazy. Like, drives me nuts, man. But we'll see. He's gonna play backup point guard coming from Maurice. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Bronny's seen the court for at least the first season, maybe if not the first 2. Dylan Jones saying I'm a Bronny believer. got the best genes ever. I mean, literally the best. Like if I was trying to make the NBA and I could be like, oh, who would you want your dad to be? It's LeBron. Like he's the best athlete the NBA has ever seen. One of the smartest players we ever seen in NBA history. So Bronny's going to be an all-star one day for the Shanghai Sharks coming in from John. That's a good one. But let's take a look at the top free agents that we still have out there. Obviously, DeMar DeRozan being the biggest name. No updates there. LeBron is still technically a free agent, but he will be returning to the Los Angeles Lakers. There is no doubt about that. How funny would that be, though, if LeBron didn't return to the Lakers and he just left Bronny stranded with J.J. Redick? Yeah. If LeBron signs a 3-year max with the Lakers, that would be hilarious. That would be objectively hilarious. But I don't know. Who, like out of this list, Colin, if you had to pick one of these guys going to a contender, like, is there any, like, true needle mover you see here?
I mean, no, like, major needle movers. I mean, DeMar, listen, with his leadership and everything, you mentioned it earlier that his corner three-point percentage has really improved over the years. And, like, he's the guy that, like, he's been in big moments. He's been in plenty of big playoff games. So, like, obviously, like, he's big. To be honest, the rest of these guys, like, they'll have their varying degrees of success. I mean, I like Caleb Martin. I like Gary Trent Jr. I like Buddy Hield. But, like, is anyone going to really put you over the top? I mean, maybe if you desperately need a shooter, sure, one of those three. But, I mean, needle mover's a tough phrase, I'm going to be honest.
I would like Tyus Jones on the Nuggets. I don't know how they would financially make that work, but I would like that. But the next list here, again, a lot of shooters on this list, man. I mean, Malik Beasley's out there. I'm a big fan of Saddiq Bey. You know, expect him to make a full recovery from his ACL. Got a big and Precious, even though I do anticipate he's returning to the Knicks. I know Lakers fans don't want Taurean Prince back, but he could be another good name, you know, for some players or for some teams. And this next list here, 11 through 15, you know, you got Gordon Hayward, Highsmith, Luke Kennard, Kyle Anderson. Pat Bev makes the list now.
Pat Bev, number 15.
Wow. All right. New name. We're there. We're at that point. We're at that point, Sam.
If you got another name, I'm game. I'll throw whoever the hell you want.
No, I like it.
I'll throw Chuma Okiki.
No. Keep Pat Bev in there. He is, what is he, suspended the first 4 games? First 4 games the next season. Yeah. Check out Pat Beverly's podcast. That's funny, man. That's funny. Where would Pat Bev go? Where would be the funniest situation for the meme purposes for Patrick Beverly?
I mean, there's a couple. I mean, obviously the Lakers would be hilarious just because of the.
That would be funny.
It would be a circus. Who else? I mean, Austin Reeves he had beef with.
Chris Paul, he goes to San Antonio. That would be pretty good. Popovich would not let him near that organization.
He waits to find out where Russell Westbrook gets traded and then joins that.
He joins it. Yeah, that could be another good one too, man. Oh, that's funny. But, yeah, I mean, Gordon Hayward, Highsmith, Kennard. I mean, you know, you got some decent guys, you know, still out there. Is J-Mo saying, I reckon we trade LaVine for a youngster. That would be awesome. I don't think the Bulls can pull that off. I don't think LaVine's market is that big. But JM saying Thanasis has been in the league for 3 years. Bronny will be fine in the league. Yeah, that's also the thing. If Thanasis is able to stay in the league, I'm sure Bronny will, you know, as well. But Max saying Bronny will shock the world. Yeah, I mean, this was also a guy, you think about more on the Bronny thing. You know, his heart stopped 11 months ago, 10 months ago from now. Like, people forget in the first ESPN mock draft before the college basketball season, they had Bronny going 17th. Like, I think people just look at his stats from USC, and, you know, this is why, like, when you're evaluating draft prospects in any sport there is, like, I think, like, too many, like, times we just look at, like, what they did, you know, at whatever college or wherever they were, and, you know, I think people have a tough time projecting of what they could be, and that's probably what the Lakers are thinking. Like, Bronny, freak athlete, you know, really long wingspan for a 6'1" guard, so, you know, we'll see if he ends up working out, but it'll be fun to watch, man. No doubt about it. But we are putting a link in the chat right now. If you guys retweet this tweet, we will give you guys a shout out. So I would really appreciate it. Just helps us get the stream out to more and more fans of the NBA out there. A Super Slave Bro is saying people hating. Yeah, people. You know, Bronny's gonna get hated on. No doubt about it. And the thing I just don't like when people hate on Bronny. It's just because it's like, it's just low-hanging fruit. Like, it's so easy to, hate on the guys. So, maybe we'll kick this to no more Bronny talk. Kind of beating a dead horse here. But, hey, let's kick it this. I like this. Who is your favorite NBA player? Colin, non-Thunder. Colin's a Thunder fan. We'll go non-Thunder here.
Okay.
Who's your favorite player?
That's tough, man.
Favorite player to watch. We'll do that.
Favorite player to watch. Tough, man. I'm gonna say favorite non-Thunder player to watch.
Yeah.
I'll go. I love De'Aaron Fox.
De'Aaron Fox? Yeah, I'm a big fan of Fox. I like
De'Aaron
that.
Fox. I just think he plays with such great pace, but then he also just
freak athlete as well.
Athlete can play at his own pace and everything. I was a fan of him when he was coming out of Kentucky. He's just a dog, man. I love watching De'Aaron Fox play. Yeah,
my favorite player to watch. I mean, growing up, like Steph Curry was obviously number one. For me, love prime Westbrook. Obviously, Derrick Rose is my favorite player of all time in NBA history. He made me fall in love with the game of basketball. So, in terms of like a non-Bulls players like right now, like Anthony Edwards, he's moving up that list for me. I love Carmelo Anthony back in the day. Like I used to do this during my high school games. Probably looked like such a loser copying Carmelo, but still, I love this celebration, man. 3 to the dome. Ja Morant, that's a good one I see in the chat. Sam, what about you?
Love watching Booker too.
Non-Maverick player, Sam Brown.
There you go.
Non-Maverick player, the easy answer is Steph.
Steph is definitely up there.
Dude, okay, so I'll say I'm going to cheat a little bit.
Go for it.
I've said it, I feel like every single game that Kyrie Irving has played with Dallas, he at least one time a game, whether he's doing well, doing poorly, at least one time a game, he does something that I've just never fucking seen before in my life.
I'm with you.
And it's phenomenal.
It's like Kyrie's one of those guys where like he'll have a couple stretch of plays that I'm like, is that the greatest basketball player of all time?
Yeah, it's insane. Actually, this is a good answer. Former Mav, I really do like watching Jalen Brunson play.
Jalen Brunson.
I think he's a grinder
yeah.
who earned everything he had in the league. Fun watching him play, which he was still in Dallas.
Yeah, no, Brunson's definitely one of my favorite players to watch. As we do have some news here. Monty Morris heading to the Phoenix Suns. There we go. Monte Morris. Marcus Teague coming in from Eric Kush. That's a great one. He's actually playing for in the TBT tournament with Kentucky. Jamal Murray's up there. Here's the news here. Monte Morris signing a deal with the Phoenix Suns. Wemby. See, that's also the thing. Like, if I had to pay to go watch a basketball player, it would be Wemby right now. Like, I think he'd be the hottest ticket in the league. Like, I understand, like, guys like Luka, Jokic, like, they're better right now in their career. But if I had to go pick a player to watch, it would be Wemby. No doubt about it. Mob saying of the free agents left, who do you want us to get? From the Bulls side of things, I'm not really sure the Bulls are going to make another signing here. But here we can break down Morris here a little more in depth for the signing for the Phoenix Suns. This past season with Detroit, with Minnesota, wasn't his best year. Never really got, didn't really get too much chance. But, I put up 5 points a game, 2.1 assists. Was a double-digit guy the 3 seasons before that. Was that the year the Nuggets? Oh, no, that was a year before Denver won the title when he averaged 12.5 points a game, 4.4 assists. So he was still a contributor for that team. The Suns, with where they stand right now, like, this is devastating. Villanova legend. We don't even have his picture. Colin Gillespie, come on, baby. But this is what the Suns did this offseason. Love the move of Royce O'Neal, Bol. See, the Suns are so... They just put themselves in a tough situation with KD, Booker, and Beal, where it's like they just need to get a bunch of, he's not in our database, though. Colin Gillespie, but signed him to a 2-way. Villanova legend, one of the best college basketball point guards ever. Fantastic basketball player. But they got Plumlee, they got Bol, brought back Royce O'Neal. Like, these are just, moves to help you get better on the margins. And you would hope the core of KD, Booker, Beal, like they can drive most of that ship. As Jared is saying, Kai Soto in the chat. We're not saying that today. Don't worry about that. Don't worry. We are not going to Kai Soto, Jared. 80 Gill saying DeMar in Miami would make crazy moves. Yeah, I mean, it would help with the Heat, no doubt about it. Mason saying, I think Precious to the Grizzlies is a great fit. I do like that as a backup option for the Grizzlies. Yeah, but, I mean, the Suns, like, they're not going to be too active. Like, you know, if they do run back, you know, this, obviously this big three that they have for the next couple of years, you're just going to see them change in and out, you know, different types of role players, you know, every single time. But, hey, you guys let us know. Grade the Suns offseason so far. I'd probably just give it a C. Just a passing grade. Didn't really do anything crazy. Like the Royce O'Neal move a lot, but, you know, it's not anything nuts. So,
I mean, the Suns were never going to make any, like, big splashes moves. I mean,
they just can't.
Yeah, they just can't do it. But they're going to try to win in the margins, and that's, you know, going all in like their owner is. I mean, you kind of have to win that way. So.
Yeah, I mean, they got embarrassed by the Timberwolves last year in the playoffs. Terrible matchup for with them, I will say, or for them. But yeah, I don't know. Suns are going to be the 7th seed, 6th seed in the Western Conference next season. Probably lose in the first round to a team that's, you know, developed better. But are we going to dive into the? Oh, we're going to give some shout outs now in the chat. We got KK saying Mavs Sixers finals. That would be a ton of fun. Corey giving them a C. Garland will fit the Warriors system. I actually agree with that. I think that'll be an interesting fit. Joe Mo saying DeMar to the Lakers. Yeah, if it's a 1-year deal, there'll be no sign and trade. 3-year deal, it would have to be a sign and trade. But LeBron's came out and said he would be willing to take a discount for DeMar. The head there. Marlo saying Laurie finna come join PG in Philly. They can't make. Well, I guess they could make that happen, but that would be absolutely nuts. I can't see that, you know, playing out. Picking Westbrook over DeMar is a bit crazy. Yeah, I don't know who's picking Westbrook over DeMar. Thoughts on the Walker Kessler rumors with the Knicks? Tom Thibodeau would be the happiest man alive if they could somehow land Walker Kessler. If they could somehow do that, I mean, that would be fantastic. For the Knicks, maybe they just give up more of the draft capital. Like, that would be a great move for New York. That would be awesome. Alrighty, but we're going to dive in to a tracker here shortly. Full thing. Starting from the jump? Wow. All right. Yeah, okay. Wait, is this going to be the cut? Or no, just going for it? Okay. All right, well, we're just going to start from the start of free agency here. Just dive through all the moves that were made. Obviously, Siakam kicked it off with the Indiana Pacers. OG signed a mega deal with the Knicks. Malik Monk got way less than I thought he was going to get. I thought he was at least going to get $25 million a year. Ends up only getting 4 for $78. Nick Claxton got $25 a year with the Brooklyn Nets. And then the Toronto Raptors want to be the best 9th seed in NBA history as they brought in Emmanuel Quickley, 5-year, $175 million deal. Bruce Brown opted back in to the $23 million deal. And PJ Tucker opted into that $11.5. Terrible deal for the Clippers. Like, that's brutal. I mean, nothing they could do there, but, I mean, yeah. I mean, out of these, like, Emmanuel Quickley being the biggest move as well. I mean, I'm sure the Lakers were also pissed off that D'Angelo Russell opted into his $19 million deal as well. But they also got Jackson Hayes, Delano Banton going to the Trailblazers. Russ opted into that $4 million deal. And then we kick it along here. Biggest move here, Royce O'Neal. 4 years, $44 million with the Suns. Cam Reddish, I actually thought he played decent with the Lakers there in spots this past season with Torrey Craig. A little shocking he opted into that. I thought maybe Torrey Craig could have thought he could have got $5 million somewhere else, but he's going to stay with the Bulls on 1 year, 2.8. And we kick it to the biggest move on this next list, Patrick Williams getting the 5-year, $90 million deal. Bulls just taking a chance that, you know, hopefully he just continues to develop, and you're looking back on that contract as one of the better ones in the NBA. But DeAndre Jordan signed with the Denver Nuggets, 1 year, $3.6 million. Bull goes back to Phoenix on a $2.9 million deal. Rashawn Holmes going to the Wizards on a 2-year, $26 million deal. And then, big names here on the next list. Max Christie, a little shocker, getting 4 years, $32 million for not really playing too much over his first 2 years with the Lake Show, but maybe they're hoping he develops into one of the better role player guards off the bench. And you look back at that deal, and 2 years from now, and it's a team-friendly deal. But Alex Len going to the Kings, 1 year, $3 million, Toppin to the Pacers, 4 for $60, and then James Harden. I actually do like this deal with the Clippers. Only $35 million per year for him. But kick along here. Favorite move out of these four, Andre Drummond. Thought it was a great move by Philadelphia. Drummond being one of the better backup centers in the league. And obviously, with Joel Embiid, he's going to be in and out due to injuries. It's just bound to happen. So having that backup option like a guy like Drum, I think is fantastic. But Kevin Love also goes back to Miami. I like that move for the Heat. Just another good voice in that locker room, good veteran presence there. But on this next group, KCP getting $22 million a year for the Orlando Magic. Good for him, getting paid. Like the move for Orlando, just having another guy that helps you get better on the margins, next to Banchero and Wagner. So, like that move. But Cade Cunningham getting his rookie max extension from the Detroit Pistons of 5 years, $226 million. Pistons had to do it, but it's just, crazy giving a guy that much money for not a lot of winning, ever. As I'm a Bulls fan saying this, with Zach LaVine, having the worst contract in the NBA. But kicking along, one of my favorite deals, it seems like everybody loves this, Chris Paul to the San Antonio Spurs. Yes, $11 million is a lot, but that $11 million you're putting into Chris Paul this year, you're going to see the effects of that over the next 10 seasons with guys like Castle, Wemby developing. So yeah, love that move there. Jonas getting 3 years, $30 million from the Wizards. So, he's getting paid a pretty penny over there in Washington. And then Najee Marshall, 3 years, $27 million deal with the Mavericks. Really like Najee, great role player. And, he actually has some playmaking ability as well. But how about the Philadelphia 76ers cleaning house here on this next list? Kelly Oubre, 2 for $16. Paul George being the mega deal here, 4 years, $212 million. They're going to be a contender in the Eastern Conference this next season. It's just going to come down to the left knee of Paul George and both knees of Joel Embiid if they're going to be successful, here next year. But Tyrese Maxey also getting paid, deserves every cent of that as well. But then the Thunder cleaning up on this next list. They brought back some of their important bench pieces in Aaron Wiggins, Isaiah Joe. Isaiah Joe's one of those guys, I feel like every NBA fan has a player they watch that's not a part of their favorite team. And it's like every time I watch him, he makes all of his threes. That's Isaiah Joe for me. I sort of got this dude's a 95% three-point shooter in the NBA. But, love that move there. Also love the Hartenstein move. Perfect fit with what they needed. They needed some physicality in that front court. Needed that, physicality next to Chet Holmgren. And, you got that Isaiah Hartenstein. Why did they lose to the Mavericks? Because they got their ass kicked on the glass. Hartenstein will fix that. And then also Jalen Smith heading to the Bulls. Like that move for Chicago as well. But Tobias Harris getting 2 for $52. Obvious deal. It's incredible. Tobias Harris, what he's able to rake in the NBA. He has set his family up for generations off, obviously Toby's a good basketball player. I just like to give him a hard time. As he has been a disappointment for Philadelphia the last couple of seasons. But Derek White getting paid by the Boston Celtics, 4 for $125.9. Great deal by Boston. They're gearing up to really go on a run here over the next couple of years. Love the Klay Thompson deal. I'll tell you what, if I had to rank players who had the biggest chips on their shoulder heading into next season, Klay Thompson's up there.
He's up there for sure. One thing I just wanted to point out on the Celtics just before we move past it, did you see that all 5 of their starters are making $30+ million next year?
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's insane. That's why,
it's the world we're in, but good Lord, man. That's
why this new CBA,
it's
fucking terrible. Let's just call it like it is. It's a joke. Yeah. I just can't stand it, man. I just can't stand it. But the Celtics, they're going to go on a run for the next couple of years, but Batum going to the Clippers, Melton going to the Warriors as well. But another Boston Celtic getting paid. Jason Tatum takes $1 less million to have that match the area code he grew up in. One of the corniest things I've ever seen, but that's kind of who Jason Tatum is. So he signed that 5-year mega deal for $314 million. Goga Batatse going back to the Magic. Love that move. Thought he was actually going to get more money than that, but good move for Orlando. Then we kick it to the Clippers, just trying to fill out the bottom of their roster with Chris Dunn and Mo Bamba. Gary Harris going back to Orlando. Orlando seems to really love the core that they had last year. They're probably just hoping Banchero and the guys really take that next step as the biggest reason why they, hopefully will find themselves in the Eastern Conference Finals next year if they could pull off an upset in the second round. But kick it early on this morning, Donovan Mitchell, 3 for 150 with the Cavs. Good for Cleveland, getting that done. James Wiseman gets a 2-year deal from Indiana. Don't know the details on that just yet. But Mo Wagner going back to Orlando, and the Monte Morris going to the Phoenix Suns there as well. So not a ton of moves in free agency. Still a ton of good guys, left out there. I think this new CBA just limits player movement a ton in the NBA, and that's why it has been, definitely a little disappointing. But hey, if you guys could help us out, by the way, drop a like on today's show. We're at 471 likes on the main side of things, 126 on the Bulls side of things. If you guys could drop us a like, and hey, every 50 likes, we'll do a little beers cheers to celebrate there. But yeah, appreciate it. M Xavier saying, have the Bulls done anything besides that one signing? What a joke. Yeah, it's so funny. We're getting all these reports. Bulls are, moving everybody, yada, yada, yada. Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic are still on my basketball team. Every single day I wake up. I just hope. And I put my bed on that pillow at night. I just think to myself, when will Nikola Vucevic be off my basketball team? Please, 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 Arturis, Mark Eversley, get Vooch off my basketball team. I hope I'll wake up one day and that be the case. But yeah, Bulls have been quiet so far. Obviously they've been thrown around in every single rumor, out there, but they haven't done anything. The Jalen Smith signing was great. The Josh Giddey trade was, an interesting one, no doubt about it. But yeah, let's do this. You got any favorite player ones in there? I kind of like that, favorite player of all time, maybe. I think I saw that. Yeah. Let's do this, guys. Who is your favorite basketball player of all time? Your favorite player to watch? We'll kick it to this as, Colin, it's been about 3 hours since we got an NBA news. I don't think we've gotten news besides Morris going to the Suns and Wagner going back to the Magic. But you guys let me know, who's your favorite NBA player of all time? We got Godspeed going Iverson, Han Solo going Curry, Ronnie going Kobe, Ad Gill going Iverson. For my Bulls fans, it's D Rose, or maybe even a guy like Joakim Noah. He was one of my favorite players to watch as well. David West coming in the chat. Shout out Xavier University, legend. A lot of David West coming in there. Juancho saying Kai Soto. That's funny. Kobe and Curry coming in from Sam. Love Kobe and Curry. Joey DeLuca. Joey, who's your favorite basketball player of all time? Colin, who is your favorite basketball player of all time?
Favorite? Probably Russell Westbrook.
Westbrook, yeah. If I'm a Thunder fan, you gotta love that guy, man.
Dude, that season when he won the MVP, truly just stuff of miracles.
Yeah. No doubt about it.
Hey,
Jeremy, who's your favorite basketball player of all time?
Fuck yeah, Reed.
Of all time.
All time.
Favorite player to watch?
Yeah.
My favorite player to watch is James Harden.
James Harden's a good one back in those
Prime
Rockets
Harden
days.
was different.
Awesome.
Prime Harden is what Luka is right now.
Yeah.
People don't want to admit it.
Yeah.
Because Harden couldn't finish. And people think that Luka could finish the deal.
It could be.
But it's also Harden ran into the greatest basketball, or second greatest basketball team ever assembled.
Yeah. It's like if your team, teams that were really good in the NFL, whatever, Tom Brady.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Tom Brady.
Yeah. We're going to look back at these Bills teams and or the Ravens, be like, they just ran up against Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
They're a good team.
Yeah, Prime Harden is up there. Before that, T-Mac was nasty.
T-Mac. I got Wizards John Wall coming in the chat. That's a good one.
Really good before he got injured.
Someone said
Yao Ming's a fun one. I do like that.
I know I'm only naming Rockets.
But nothing wrong with that, man.
Steve Francis.
Tim Duncan coming in the chat. We got a lot of Zaza Pachulias coming in.
Pachulias.
That's a wild answer.
Man.
In his prime in college, Kemba Walker.
Just retired today.
Retired.
Everybody pour one out for Kemba, one of the most fun players to watch in college basketball history. If you guys haven't watched that,
Who was his step back against?
Cardiac Kemba.
It was at Georgetown. Step back made him fall for the game. Oh, Pitt, was it Pitt? It was either Pitt. Yeah. It was at the Garden. That's all I know.
Yeah.
It was awesome. We got Thanasis coming in the chat as their favorite player in NBA history. Yeah, mine's Derrick Rose, no doubt about it. But if I had to go non-bowl.
Favorite. Oh, there we go. Favorite non from your team.
Favorite player not from your team. This is gonna be wild, but this person I thought it was Tony Parker.
Tony Parker.
I love Tony Parker and Chris Paul. They were up there for me. Obviously, Russ was up there as well. Lonzo Ball, Kevin Love coming in the chat. Yeah, Jordan. I mean, I wish I was older so I could live in those Jordan era moments. But T-Mac, KD. Yeah, Thunder KD was so much fun to watch, dude.
Dude, he was so unstoppable, man. He was just.
How
that
about
whole
this?
Crew,
Who is your favorite 2K player of all time?
Ooh, 2K player?
Go for it. Blake Griffin's,
Griffin.
Prime Blake Griffin was
That's
awesome.
A good shout.
Dirk.
Yeah, so we knew we were going to get a Dirk here in this office. Favorite 2K player? Honestly, Gerald Green.
Gerald Green's a 2K legend.
Gerald Green.
Yeah, we got Aaron saying Gerald Green 2K14.
2K14, there you go.
Melo, I will say, Carmelo Anthony was one of my favorite players to watch.
Yeah.
Kyrie, yeah. He can do everything. Carlos Boozer coming in the Bulls chat. Love that. Yeah, MJ was amazing and coming in from Chet. Godspeed saying Embiid as his favorite player of all time. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. Iverson, yeah, AI. J.R. Smith and Jamal Crawford. J.R. Smith was nasty on 2K.
Yeah, he was.
Perfect jump shot.
Andre Iguodala 1 year too was actually really nice.
On 2K?
Yeah, it was 2K, I want to say 19 or something like that.
Kelly Oubre is a kind of a 2K dog.
Yeah.
Tyreek Evans is wild. I like that. J.R. Smith in 2K13. Mike James in 2K17.
Ask them if they remember playing in my career, having to play against Dante Exum.
Oh, Dante.
If you guys remember, if you guys ever played my career in 2K, playing in Dante Exum in the Rising Stars Challenge.
I think that was 2K13 or 14 or something like that.
Yeah, because he's been drafted out for a minute.
Yeah, Kevin Garnett's up there as one of my favorite players ever.
KG.
One of the best defensive players we've ever seen. But yeah, so we're going to do it. If you guys could support the show, this is our Super Chat menu. We're going to be doing 2 for 1 on the wheel spins. So if you guys send in a $5 Super Chat, we'll spin it twice instead of just once. $2, we'll talk about your team, chop it up about whatever you want. And hey, every 50 likes also, we're doing a little beers cheer. So make sure you guys have liked the video. Then $20, we'll take some shots. At 50, we'll shotgun a beer. But hey, if you guys want to send in a 5 to spin the wheel, we'll spin this 2 for 1. We got jumping jacks, shots, ton of fun.
You want to do a freebie?
A freebie?
Why not?
Screw it. Let's do a freebie. Let's go. Let's go. What do we got?
Let's get it. Freebie. Oh, almost was me. Spam his name.
Oh my God. Sorry about to get.
That's a bad one. That's usually
Okay.
spam the person's
Here,
name.
yeah. All right. We'll redo
Spam
it
the
again.
name. All right. Let's spin it again.
Showing the options. Showing the options here. Let's see. Who are we gonna get? Looks like a beer cheer. Oh. Where's it gonna land? Talk about your team.
Talk about your team.
So that would have also been another one.
I was just trying to get you to do it.
Yeah. Trying to do something.
Third time's a charm. Easy.
Oh, we got John sending in a 5 on the Bulls
There we
report
go.
for a spin.
And this one's another spam.
Yeah,
All right.
John, we're gonna get you a free spin here.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that. That one doesn't count.
That one
doesn't count.
that
John, appreciate you. It's actually your first ever Super Chat, so thank you so much. Saying spin to win. Thank you, John. As dead news day here. Really nothing has happened. Nothing. Literally nothing has happened today. Monte Morris, Mo going back to the Magic, but besides that, man, not much. Not much. Appreciate you, John, though. Shout out to you. You look like you got a little cute dog in your profile pic.
There we go.
Appreciate you, John. Appreciate you. First ever Super Chat. So if you guys could spam John's name in the comments, showing some love, showing some support. He is supporting the show, keeping the lights on here at Chat Sports.
So what was the deal? All right.
Spin the win, baby.
Let's do
2
it.
spins for my man John. 2 spins for my man John. Let's go.
Shout out to John for making this happen. See what we got first. It's like beer.
All right, I like that. John, cheers to you, my friend. Let's go.
Shout out. You said you got 2, right?
Yeah, John gets 2. We got ex-friends Jordan, Carter showing John some love on the main side of things. Jordan saying cheers. Cheers to you, my friend. All right, we'll just run it back. We'll just run it back, John.
Run it back, brother.
Cheers to you, my friend. Do you want to get into the cut maybe? Or is there a cut we're doing?
It's top free agents. So, yeah.
That's a dicey
it may
one.
wind up being something that we film outside.
Yeah.
We'll play it by ear. We'll still go.
Okay.
There again is the super chat menu. Cheers to you, John.
Appreciate you, John.
Oh, man.
Appreciate you. But yeah, we're still waiting on some. John saying cheers, boys, on the Bulls report. Shout out to you, John. Really do appreciate it. My man, Van Man in the chat as well, showing a little beers. Cheers. Shout out to you. But let's just go over some of the trade candidates we have, in the NBA. We're going to start off talking with the Bulls side of things. Obviously DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, some of the biggest names, in the latest trade rumors, as the only way DeMar is involved in a trade is if is a 3-year plus deal that he's signing, then they, obviously have a, sign and trade there. But, DeMar, we've heard, the Lakers, the Miami Heat are interested in him. Not sure. I can't really predict where he's going to go. Personally, for DeMar, I think it would be pretty cool if he chose the Lakers. They need that over-the-top scorer. They need somebody that's good in pick and roll. And, I think he's just a better version of, Austin Reeves at this point. Better mid-range scorer. So I could really see DeMar head into the Lakers. Maybe it's Miami as a mirror saying, come to Miami in the chat. I could definitely see that as well. But, NBA Central, they aggregated this from Chris Haynes saying it would either take a 1-year deal or a sign and trade where you can get a 3-year deal going for DeMar DeRozan. So, could definitely see that. I don't know, though. I thought we would have had DeMar DeRozan news by now, but, he's taking his time, deciding where he wants to play. He's not going to return to the Chicago Bulls, for this upcoming year. Apparently, the Josh Giddey, Alex Caruso trade was the final dagger for DeMar DeRozan returning to the Bulls. Oh, my goodness. Well, let's talk about Zach LaVine here. The worst contract in the NBA, considering the trade kicker with him. Got a report from Casey Johnson today. Apparently, the Sacramento Kings and Golden State Warriors are interested still in a Zach LaVine trade. Don't know what that deal would look like, for LaVine, but I know this sounds ludicrous, and I know probably going to get laughed at, but I feel like LaVine is honestly, he's an underrated player right now. I understand his contract. It's terrible. It's a terrible deal. Him being, toxic in the locker room, we've heard all of that. But, I mean, in terms of just a, strictly on the court, he's an elite athlete. He can knock down the three-point shot. He can put pressure on the rim, and he's not a terrible playmaker. I mean, averaging around 4 to 5 assists over the last 4 seasons, and maybe this is just my Bulls fan coming out of me trying to up his value a little bit. But, apparently Kings and Warriors are interested in potentially trading for LaVine. There was a report earlier that Casey Johnson put out in the offseason. The Bulls have floated out 15 different trade packages for Zach LaVine, so far. But, another big-time name that could be dealt here, Lauri Markkanen. As Van Man also saying the Clippers too, I would love that. I would love to get LaVine on the Clippers. That would be a very funny backcourt to watch, is James Harden and Zach LaVine rocking it in Los Angeles. But talk about Lauri Markkanen here. Heard the Warriors big-time interest in Markkanen. I think it'd be a great fit for the way they run their offense. You could play some big 4. You could play some small ball 5 for you. 7-footer, very efficient basketball player, underrated athlete. I mean, you go throw on his tape from this past season. He's dunking on people, man. I'm a big fan of Markkanen. We also heard the Spurs could be interested in him from Windhorst. That would be interesting. The Spurs, then you're looking at them a little differently. If the Spurs got Markkanen, you're like, okay, their starting unit of Chris Paul, Castle, Vassell, Wemby, and Markkanen You could run 5 out. You would have 5 guys that could shoot the basketball. I mean, obviously not Castle at the highest clip, but I'll tell you what, I'm very high on the Spurs. I just, I'm completely bought into the Wemby hype. I think he's going to be a top 10 player in the league next year, undisputed. Think about this with Wemby. He is no doubt going to be the best defensive player in the league next season. And also, if he just, takes his offensive game even just a little bit of an upgrade, I mean, he'll be a top 10 player. So, Laurie, his fit on the Spurs, I think would be, absolutely fantastic. But let's talk about Brandon Ingram. His name's been thrown out there a ton, specifically with the Sacramento Kings. We heard them possibly getting involved. And, I'll be curious to see what the Pelicans, try to do here. Are they going to try to, build around this core 4 that they have of McCollum, DeJounte Murray, Zion, and Ingram? Or do they focus more in on that big 3 and move Ingram for some other role players? Because I'll tell you what, let's just, with the Pelicans roster right now, you also have Trey Murphy and Herb Jones. Those guys should be your starting 3 and 4 for the foreseeable future. But if you got Ingram and Zion, are you going to have those guys come off the bench? Pelicans are in a very, very interesting spot here. So, I could see him going to Sacramento. Maybe, I don't know, what other team could you see, Colin, for Ingram?
Yes, we mentioned Sacramento. I mean, here's the thing. I don't love it, but I think Brooklyn's probably restarting, so probably not them. That's tough.
The Warriors, I could see maybe.
Warriors could make a move at him. I think Orlando, there's no shot Orlando can. So
no shot Orlando, yeah.
It's tough off the cuff. I mean, San Antonio, they got the room. I don't know how him and Wemby would work, but yeah, it'd be interesting, man.
Yeah, we'll see. We can wrap up this trade rumor talk with Russell Westbrook here as the Clippers reportedly trying to find a trade suitor for Russ. I thought Russ was great in the regular season last year for Los Angeles. Obviously, once postseason time came around, that series versus the Mavericks, he was terrible. Shot less than 30% from the field, less than 20% from downtown. He was awful in the playoffs, but I have liked that Russell Westbrook has shown some self-awareness here, realizing he's not that same MVP that he once was. He's accepted a limited and more defined role with the Clippers, coming off the bench, being that Energizer Bunny, type of player. So I'm still a fan of Russell Westbrook, one of my favorite players to watch of all time. And, maybe the Denver Nuggets, we've heard reports that they could be interested in him. That'll be an interesting fit with him coming off the bench there, as they did lose Reggie Jackson this offseason. So, we'll see there on the Russ side of things. Maybe Denver does look to add a former MVP, to that roster that they have right now. But, Colin, do you think any other fits of, Russ out there that you could think of?
Dude, at this point in his career, Denver would be interesting. It would be really chaotic. He's not going to go there to start at any point. So it'll be interesting to see, where he kind of ends up at this stage of his career. I just trying to go through the teams in my head. It would have to be, it'd have to be obviously win now, and it'd have to be somewhere where, I don't know, man, where he just can fit. He can kind of run the second unit.
Yeah.
It's tough, man. I don't see him in Dallas. I don't see him in Oklahoma City. I don't see him in Minnesota. I don't see him really with the Clippers. Denver seems like a really kind of obvious, but maybe low-key start. Maybe Milwaukee could be interesting.
Milwaukee could be an interesting one, too. The thing is with Russ is, you got to give him such a, defined role. He can't just go to a team. He's not, polar opposite. A guy like Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, they're seamless fits in any, any team they go to. Russ is the, opposite of that. So we'll be curious to see where he ends up going, but hopefully Russ, I'm hoping he can get that ring one of these days. For his own sake. You want to let me? Can I run to the restroom real quick? If you just want to throw on the producer cam.
I got you.
I'll be back here in a second. As we can continue kicking it, talking about free agency, but Colin's gonna hold it down. Let him know whatever you guys want to talk about your favorite basketball team.
All right. Shout out here. Give them some shout outs to any teams. Drop down below. Did this one earlier, so I want to see.
I thought I had a least favorite.
I was trying to look for it. I could not find But we could talk about kind of wherever here. Let's see. We can switch to. But yeah, I'm gonna give shout outs here in a second. All right, cool. Shout outs favorite team. And we can kind of just go through and talk about it while Seeps runs to the restroom real quick. I got Lakers from Dylan Jones. Listen, man, the Lakers are an interesting spot. I mean, ultimately, LeBron, like Seeps said, I mean, he put it out there. Hey, if you guys sign one of these three players, whether it was Valanciunas, Klay, Brandon, whomever, I would be willing to take less than the max. And it looks like LeBron's going to get the max. So you're essentially going to be running it back with, you obviously have LeBron, AD, Austin Reeves. And, it's going to be an interesting spot, man, for the Lakers because, you're trying to capitalize and maximize this window you have with LeBron. That's clear. And obviously, you drafted Dalton Knecht, Bronny James, D'Angelo Russell opted into his player option. You re-signed Max Christie. You got J.J. Redick coming in. I mean, don't get me wrong. They're going to be on talk shows. Like, you're going to get plenty of Lakers coverage. Don't you worry. But it's going to be an interesting, season for the Lakers because I don't know if they even really took a step forward, and it's going to be tough, man. It's going to be really tough for the Lakers, kind of treading here because unless they make a move like I kind of proposed earlier, maybe going all in on Trae Young or something like that, which I don't even know if that's even realistically possible, I just don't see the Lakers really competing anytime soon. Let's see. Give some more shout-outs here. Milwaukee Bucks. That one could be interesting. Listen, man, you still have Giannis, who, at worst, he is a top 3 player in basketball. There's just no doubt about it. You still have Damian Lillard. He's going to have a full offseason and everything. I think there was a report, Seeps, correct me if I'm wrong, where Damian Lillard came out and said, during the offseason, he wasn't training as hard because he was trying to get traded. There was a whole kind of
It was Doc Rivers kind of airing him out a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, that was interesting though.
It was. And look, they added DeLon Wright, which again, it's not going to be a needle mover, but it's a solid move and everything. I think the Bucks, we could really see them active kind of this later part in free agency because they were never going to make a huge move or anything.
Yeah.
Maybe
they decided to ship Middleton. Is that a guy that we don't talk about enough as a potential trade candidate?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it could be. It's Middleton. What would his market look like? First of all,
limited.
Very limited.
Very limited.
Right. He's got obviously the injury history. He's got a big bag that he's carrying around with him. So I don't know if Milwaukee could even move him. I mean, obviously they'd like to get off of him, but I mean, at times, he's not even the third option on the team. I mean, I like Bobby Portis more. Some nights, Brook Lopez, obviously.
Yeah.
It'd be very interesting, man.
Oh, it would be. We actually do have a $10 super chat coming in on the main side of things. Big timer, 24 gaming. Shout out to you, my man. Let's go.
Little 2 wheel spin action?
We wheel spinning this? Big
Let's
timer, you down?
Let's do it.
Let's go. All righty.
All right.
Appreciate you, big timer, supporting the show.
Appreciate you.
Beast. And
dude, we're drinking a lot of water today.
God, we're so hydrated right now, guys. We're so hydrated.
What if every time it says water, you just drink Happy Dad?
Happy Dads do have electrolytes, so we're also staying hydrated as well.
I'll take a little sip of Happy Dad about that. All right,
Alrighty.
second wheel spin here. Let's get it going. Let's get an actual drink here. Come on, let's get it active. Oh my God, it's another water. All right, Happy Dad it is.
All right, Happy Dad. Happy water.
I'm going to try to take some of those off because that is salt.
Yeah.
We've hit that 4 times or something.
Nah, appreciate you, little big timer.
You want to do one more?
Screw it. Let's do one more. Let's spin it one more time.
There's no way that it could happen again, right?
There's no way it will happen a third time.
No way.
No
way.
All righty, big timer. If you're in the chat, let us know who your favorite basketball team is. We'll talk about them. Curry ain't the best point guard in the NBA. LMAO, you're smoking, bro. Luka and Halliburton better than him. If you think Tyrese Halliburton is a better point guard than Stephen Curry, are you serious? Come on, man. Come on. Carl, what's up, Carl? Carl's in the chat saying Skull Seeps. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, big timers. You let us know what your favorite team is.
We'll talk about them.
We'll break it down. Give you our thoughts. Yeah, Morris did go to the Suns. Jonathan Taylor saying, hey, Pat. Jordan saying, you're smoking something. If you think Halliburton is better than Curry, you are the one smoking something, not me. As of right now, Curry right now isn't the best point guard as of the year. I mean, he's second. Like, it's a joke. We got to do a better job and maybe this is, we got a lot of clowns here at Chat Sports that talk a lot of NBA. Maybe it's just force feeding you guys misinformation, but if you don't think Curry is, a top 3 point guard still in the NBA, come on, man. Come on, man. Any Knicks updates today? Carl, heard they were interested in Walker Kessler. That would be a big move for them. Zesty Halley is not better than Curry, LOLs. Yeah, I'm with you. It's frankly not even close. Why
are we pushing this across?
I don't know.
What is this?
This is
disrespectful.
This is disrespectful for the 4-time NBA champ, the greatest point guard of all time. And
so I'm adjusting the question.
No. Go for it.
The question is really better point guard. You can push it
right now. It don't matter. Right now, 3 years ago, 4 years from now, it doesn't matter. It is Steph Curry.
It doesn't matter. I mean, how many point guards would you really?
Joshua Williams. You're a Vikings fan. You're always tuning in. Come on, man. I can't believe you just typed TH. Come on, man.
That's insane.
Oh, dude.
How many point guards would you realistically take ahead of Tyrese Halliburton right now? Because I can think of a few.
How many points?
How many point guards? So
Brunson, Curry,
Steph.
If we're counting Luka.
If you're counting Shea, count Shea.
Shea, obviously.
That's 4 right there. So
4.
So best he's all NBA 13 caliber guy.
Yeah.
I don't think
Halliburton's a great player. Like I'm not like he impressed me a lot this postseason.
Yeah, I'll give some shout outs here. Jonathan Taylor saying Steph Curry, Jalen Woods saying Steph Curry, Carl saying Steph Curry. We got people in the Bulls chat. Shout out to Cardiv saying Steph Curry, Charlie Steph Curry. And we got it in the live chat too. So make y'all's voice heard. As we got 81% saying Steph Curry. I mean,
81%.
I feel even 81% feels kind of
That's embarrassing that only 81% of people chose Steph Curry right now. That's embarrassing.
Yeah.
This should be 99%, and only 1% should be Pacers fans, if we're being honest.
If we're being honest. I mean, can 1%...
This is just recency bias.
100%.
Oh, take a hit of that, Colin. Recency bias. It's a hell of a drug, bro.
Bias?
It's a hell of a drug. Whew.
Thank God we don't drug test here.
That was wild. Somebody should clip that.
That really someone should.
Yeah, you want to make a weigh-in who your top 5 players in the NBA?
I can do that.
Kind of want to, even though, kind of want to go to, okay, I got you. Yeah. SC smoking Curry. Yeah, Luka 1, Curry 2, SGA 3. That's a good question, though, Colin.
Which one? Sorry.
SGA or Curry heading into the next season?
I'm biased, so I know where I'm going.
You know what? I am the biggest Curry fan of all time. I may lean SGA, and it makes me sick saying that. It makes me sick. Recency bias is way too real. Don't diss us, Pat. The Happy Herman, I'm not dissing anybody. It should be 100% Josh Dobbs. Why is Josh Dobbs getting talked about in the Bulls chat?
Right now?
What's going on, Sam Lacharda? What's going on, man? You know what? This is the deal, though. Every 50 likes we get, we are doing a Beers Cheers. We're 4 likes away on the Bulls channel from 150. So we'll do that over there. And then also we're about, 23 likes away, 22 likes away on the main side of things. So
42 minutes since our last bit of news.
Yeah, it's been
42 minutes?
That's insane.
Jeez, man. Logan saying Tyrese might be better these past seasons, but Curry is better all time. Logan, come on, bro. Come on.
We're better than this here.
You guys, come on. Kevin Warren saying Josh Dobbs. Why is Josh Dobbs being talked about in the Bulls chat? Come on, fellas.
Let's be better.
Come on. Yeah, Steph. It's not close. It's not close. Sam, why are you up arrowing Kevin saying Josh Dobbs? Justin Jefferson coming in from Megan. You gonna turn this into Vikings Live right now, fellas?
We did just hit 150 likes on Bulls. So that's beers. Cheers.
Cheers to you guys.
14 away.
Appreciate you. It has been 42 minutes.
43 now.
43 minutes since the last piece of news of day 3 of NBA free agency. Colin, we got lucky, man. We got lucky. You know, the day we were on live, nothing. Obviously sarcasm right there. But
yeah, I mean, we are just loving life right now. I mean, we are working, talking sports for a job.
This is for the love of the game right
100%.
now. This is for the love of the game.
No casuals allowed, for sure.
Do you think the Bulls will trade anyone today? I don't know. I hope so. Would expected some DeMar news by now, but we do not have any. Yeah. We do not have any. Get DeMar's old butt out the door now, coming in from Happy Hermit. I wish. But all right, let's get into this. Talk a little D-Lo. Apparently the Lakers were trying to find suitors for him. You know, I think we all know who D'Angelo Russell is at this point. Him with the Brooklyn Nets, Colin, one of my favorite players to watch. Yeah. Like, that Nets team was electric. Like, with them dancing on the bench to that one Playboi Carti song. Like, that was sweet. But, I mean, D'Lo in the playoffs past couple of seasons, has just been a dud. And, the regular season numbers are awesome. Like, if you said, you could get a point guard, 6'5", average 18 a game, 6.5 assists, and then field goal percentage at 45.5%, shooting 41% from three. Like, the numbers look great for D'Lo. But, again, another postseason comes around, and he is, a negative asset on the court. So, we'll see if D'Lo ends up, getting dealt this offseason. Apparently the Lakers are trying to move off from him. As Van Man saying D'Lo on the Nets just makes too much sense. I agree. Like, that would be that just seems obvious. I don't know what the deal would possibly look like. Maybe it's I saw the one where it was like thrown out there. It was like a sign and trade where DeMar goes to the Lakers, D'Lo goes to the Nets, and I think we got something cooking up behind the scenes right now. I don't like the smirk on Sam Brown's face. I don't like the smirk.
One of the best ideas I've had in my life.
I am ready for this. I am so ready for this. We'll see. You guys wait a second here. What about D'Lo to the Bulls? That would be a great fit. I disagree on that. I mean, the Bulls already have their guards, and Josh Giddey.
Sam just cannot contain himself.
I can't fucking wait. You're going to love this, dude.
What is going on right now?
Hold on, you'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think D'Lo makes too much sense on the Bulls. Like, you already got Giddey, Kobe White, Io. Like, you don't need another. You don't need another guard. Latest free agency signing. Oh my, this is depressing.
We're just gonna let that puppy run.
Right there.
Just let it run.
We'll see how high that gets up. What do you guys think? All right, Sam, over under right now. I'll set a line for you. I'll take any bet you want. Any bet you want. I'll go in an hour and 12 minutes. Over under.
Well, Seeps, you know me well, so you know how much I love a good over.
You love a good over.
I mean, yesterday, on day 2 of free agency, we went over an hour without news at one point. So I actually feel pretty damn confident about the over there.
You're going to go the over? All right, hour 12
Are we all just waiting on DeMar?
I guess so. I mean, I don't know what everybody's waiting on.
I had to test this in another studio to make sure it works. This is one of my greatest creations, I think. We're just going to let this puppy run until someone signs. It's like you're at a factory. It's like, it's been 12 days since our last horrible. Have you seen Daniel Tosh's stand-up? He has a bit where it's like you're at a factory. It's like, it was like a bit about America and like bad events in America. It's like a factory where it's like, it's been 12 days since our last awful thing. And it's like, nope, go ahead and scrap that down. We're back at 0. Yep. We're just going to do this, and we're just going to reset it at 0 every time.
And I don't think we're changing this. I don't think we're changing this for a while.
No, probably not.
Probably not.
Game Master saying, Pat, I got a nickname for you. Chef Pat. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Daniel Tosh still exists. Hello, coming in from Michael Perez. Yeah, I remember watching that a lot back in the day. That was fun.
Fun times. Fun times. Let's get to the next guy.
Let's kick it to the top 5 teams.
Top 5?
Yeah.
Right.
We'll kick it to the top 5 teams here. We'll do that. Over without a doubt coming in from Jonathan Taylor. Let's do that. Who are the top 5 teams in the NBA right now? Boston Celtics number 1. Just got to give them the default.
Yeah.
Number 2 though. Who's the biggest contender?
I mean, here's the thing. I'm going to take my unbiased out of it.
No.
I'm taking it out. I'm being objectively, these are my top 5.
Okay, all right.
These are my top 5. I'll go Boston number 1. I'd go right now Philly number 2.
Philly number 2, okay.
I really think Philly hit the jackpot this year. Now again, it depends on health, but we're assuming health, right? I'll go Dallas 3, OKC 4, Denver 5.
Dallas 3, okay. All right.
Because here's the thing, the Knicks could be interesting. Going to be interested to see how Julius Randle meshes with the whole Villanova boys.
That's the biggest X factor with them, man.
100%. But I think Philly made huge leaps and bounds signing Paul George, and they're still not done. Re-signing Kelly Oubre, I mean, they could still make some moves.
Drummond, man. Eric Gordon, they got a whole lot better this offseason.
They did. I think. Yeah, let's see what the chat's saying. OKC number 1. Hey, listen, I'm not gonna hate that. Willie, shout out to you.
Dude said 76ers over the Wolves.
I mean, dude, the Wolves, I'm not sure. They may have hit their ceiling last season. They might have.
I guess if you're a Wolves fan, you got to be thinking, Anthony Edwards at 22.
Yep.
He's going to get better.
He will.
Maybe we are sleeping on the Timberwolves a little bit. I like the pickup of Rob Dillingham. They were the best defensive team in the NBA. And I think Dillingham off the bench will be fantastic. For them. I mean, could you imagine if you're an opposing team guard? And you're I got to deal with Anthony Edwards for 40 minutes and then Dillingham for 20.
It's true.
And Terrence Shannon Jr. I like that pickup for them. Yeah, maybe we are sleeping on the Wolves a little bit here.
A little bit. So what did the Wolves do that is going to propel them above Dallas? Because they did enough to beat Denver last year. But Dallas is clearly the team to beat in the West, right? They're just in the NBA Finals. Yeah. What did Minnesota do in order to kind of leapfrog them? I mean, other than draft Rob Dillingham, which again is interesting, and you hope Anthony Edwards continues to ascend. You hope that Cat and Gobert continue to mesh.
Somehow work it out.
You're basically just hoping that
Ant turns into Jordan.
Yeah. And that's how you're going to try to beat the Mavs and Luka. And that's.
Got Matt saying Celtics, Knicks, Dallas, Sixers, OKC. Number 6 is Indiana. That's a take.
That's a take right there.
Chef Pat coming in from Game Master saying, how's Miami, Chicago, Boston, Lakers, Spurs, Pacers?
Did you even give your top 5, Steeps?
My top 5? I'll go Boston number 1.
Yep.
I think the second best team is your Thunder.
Okay.
Right now, that's if I had to predict the finals, I would go OKC. I just think, think about this. SGA, Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren.
100%.
They're going to be better than they were last year.
Yep.
And they were the 1 seed and took the Mavericks to 6. Besides a terrible decision by SGA in the corner, the foul, P.J. Washington, got beat on the glass.
Yep.
You added Alex Caruso, and you also added Isaiah Hartenstein. Those are 2 great moves on the margin. I think I could make an argument for OKC being the best team in the league. Realistically, I'm that high on them.
I get you. It's just here's the thing with OKC, right? I mean, obviously you're integrating Alex Caruso, Isaiah Hartenstein. It's one thing to assume that they're going to take a step forward. It's how much of a step forward are they going to take? Because honestly, if I'm looking at it from the series that I watched, I mean, Dallas felt pretty in control most of the series. Now, granted, P.J. Washington had a hot streak. Luka was hurt, and even then played through it. I don't know how many chances SGA, and again, he is that guy. Can he be better than Luka 2 series in a row? Because he was last year. And again, Luka was dealing with injuries and everything, but it's going to be tough, man.
And they added Topic.
Yeah, they did add Topic.
No, I'm a big fan of what the Thunder have done.
Listen, I love the Thunder. I'm a Thunder fan, but I need to see it first, kind of play it out on the court, because it's easy to assume that they're going to take that leap. It's just how much of a leap are they going to take?
Yeah, dude, you had Chet and Jalen Williams. Those are the 2, man.
Yeah, and
Those
also,
are the
knock
two.
on wood, got to assume health too. But
Yeah, assume health, obviously, with those guys.
Again, Sixers, like I said, I'll go out on a limb with Sixers because I think, dude, Paul George, Joel Embiid, again, and Maxey, I mean, that's a hell of a team.
That's a hell of a trio. Like, but then again, like, I think the Thunder are a better team.
They might be better constructed and everything.
Like, and also I like the Thunder. Like, we talk about matchups so much now. It's just because, like, we're in the parity era of the NBA. Like, you got to be able to match up with everybody. Like, every team that the Thunder will get matched up with in the Western Conference, I think they are the ones kind of determining who has to adjust to who.
That's
like,
fair. Make them play your
Timberwolves.
game.
Like, if they match up with the Timberwolves,
Yep.
you're going to be able to put Caruso and SGA on Ant all 48 minutes.
Lou Dort, too. Yeah.
Lou Dort, too. Like, that's also the thing. They got Dort coming off the bench. Like, oh, man.
It's true. Listen, I don't hate what you're saying, man. I
know. I just, I don't know if I'm overreacting to what the Thunder have done this offseason, but.
I mean, the odds definitely here. We can pull up the odds, actually.
Yeah, we can pull up the odds here real quick.
NBA title odds for next year. So, again, this is what's updated. Now, again, Dallas not being in the top 5 is criminally low.
Dallas
The
should
fact
be
that they're
top
in there.
5.
Listen, I give respect to the Knicks, and, again, you could maybe, if we kind of go through the training camp and everything, and we'll see what other moves they make. I just think Philly's top end of their roster, I like just a little bit more than the Knicks. Again, man, the Nuggets, can't sleep on them. But the fact that the Nuggets are the number 1 favored team in the West is a bit crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if a lot of these, like, Western Conference teams, they got, like, lower odds. Because, like, I think OKC is the second best team in the league, and maybe their odds are lower because they would have to go through a Denver, Minnesota, and maybe a Dallas, however they ends up going out. But I don't know, man. I don't know.
Interesting, man.
Listen,
I wouldn't hate it. I would not hate it at all, but I need to see it first. Here's the thing. I really do trust SGA. Chet, we got to see us take a step forward. 'Cause, I mean, again, he technically was a rookie last year.
Which is crazy.
Rookie.
Like, played all 82, right?
Yeah. He did. And look, love Jalen Williams too. I think he's arguably one of the best, up-and-coming rising stars in the NBA. We'll see, man.
We're closing in on an hour right here, Colin. For latest free agency sign.
It's going to be insane.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah. Steven's saying the 76ers overrated. That's very true. And listen, maybe I'm drinking the 76ers Kool-Aid, but dude, Paul George, if you think about, like, okay, you have a dynamic closing guard, Tyrese Maxey, ascending, and you have Joel Embiid, who's kind of a finesse big. I mean, Embiid is who he is. But the perfect player to play alongside them would be a guy like Paul George.
I want you to rate how hot of a take this is.
Okay.
Is Paul George the most overrated player in the NBA?
Most overrated? I wouldn't say. I mean,
because of this. Can I make? I want to make a point. Real quick.
Make your point.
Make a point. I don't want your thoughts. Colin's a very level-headed guy. I feel like I'm more going waves or I'm more up and down. So I want to get his thoughts on this.
Okay.
In the social media era we live in, Paul George's game, super smooth. It's aesthetically pleasing, right?
Yep.
No doubt about it.
Throwing his numbers on screen. Here you go.
You see it. Good field goal percentage, all that.
Yep.
But postseason time comes around. Every single year, Paul George his game doesn't elevate.
Yep.
It gets worse in the postseason. I just think with how we view a lot of these players, it's like how aesthetically pleasing are their game, like more nowadays compared to the past. So I don't know. If that's a hot take, like what do you think?
Here's the thing. I think if you're asking me like if he's overrated, properly rated, underrated, I would definitely say he's properly rated, leaning on the terms of slightly overrated. Again, I'm not helping that, but here's the thing. Paul George, for the money he's been getting paid, he's had his moments where he's shrunk in the postseason. But we've also said that about like James Harden, for example, who's getting $35 million a year. Like that's a guy that's, I've had more questions about because with Paul, he's never been looked at. I mean, if you want to go back to his Indiana days, as like the guy on a team, right? And when you're kind of the second option, as you know, Steve, sometimes it's hard for you to get in your rhythm, especially in those tight environments and everything, and you're kind of playing off the number one, even sometimes the number two. I just like Paul George to me is right where he should be, right? Like the fact now that he's becoming a number 3 potentially on Philly,
that's
third
big.
option.
I hear you.
Like it's he's not going to be asked to do a lot. So maybe like he's coming down a little bit for me. I've never looked at Paul George like, where would you rank Paul George in the NBA? If you just had to blind rank him like in a vacuum, where would you tank him? Like roughly what? Somewhere between 12 and 18, maybe?
12? Hell no. I don't think
so not 12. So like
I think he's probably 25 to 30.
25 to 30. Okay, you might be.
I can name 25 players better than Paul George right now.
Go ahead.
I think I could.
Go ahead.
You want me to go through this? We also have an update on DeMar DeRozan here real quick, but I'm about to name 20 players better than Paul George. Giannis, Luka, Jokic. 3 easy. SGA, Jalen Brunson, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Donovan Mitchell.
Okay. We're good.
Luka.
What? Okay.
I'd even go Embiid right now, obviously.
Yeah.
Tyrese Maxey, I think he's better.
There you go. Yeah. So how many are you at? You're at 11?
11. I would take De'Aaron Fox over him. I think he's better. This is crazy. I think Jalen Williams will be a better player next season than Paul George.
I'm saying right now, not next
right
season.
Now?
Right now, dude,
I think day one, though, opening night, I'm taking Jalen Williams on my team. Jokic. I haven't said Jokic yet. Ant. Another one. Maybe he's in that 15 range.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Kawhi, too. I'm taking Kawhi over Paul George.
Kawhi's never healthy.
That's what I'm saying,
Paul George ain't healthy either. And at least when Kawhi's playing, he's good.
I'm just saying, when you actually kind of like sit there and you think about it, right?
KD, Booker, Steph, LeBron. Thank you so much, Muhammad. There's 4 more. Wemby is better than Paul George right now.
Okay, we're getting kind of to the debatable, but I'll allow it for right now.
We'll allow it.
We'll allow it. So
Bam.
how many is that?
Bam's better.
Okay.
I don't know. So, all right. Call it in the middle. He's in that 17 to 22 range.
Oh, there we go.
17 to 22. Maybe not 25 to 30.
I think that's pretty good, man.
And then I guess if you're using the logic where it's like the Sixers got 3 top 17 players in the league, like
it's pretty good, man.
I hear you. But
like it's definitely a topic for sure. I don't hate it, but I don't think it's like
Banchero is better than Paul George.
Right now, yeah, I'd probably leave Banchero.
Kobe White.
Kobe White.
That's jokes. All righty.
Oh, the thing restarted. It hit the hour mark.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Devastating.
Hold on, I got it.
Sam's
the
baby.
clock restarted.
I won't let this happen. Boom. Onwards we go. Oh, wait, no, it's in this one.
Cameron Thompson. No, I did not.
There we go.
There we go.
Yeah, but we do have some DeMar DeRozan news.
Oh, we do.
Apparently, talks between himself and the Miami Heat are heating up.
They're heating up.
And this makes a whole lot of sense for Miami. As, we're just waiting on this next DeMar DeRozan kind of nugget to come out there. But, yeah, the next anything to come out. We're over an hour since the latest free agent signing of Morris going to the Phoenix Suns. But, it's coming in from Barry Jackson.
Yep.
Big time update here.
Big
After initial discussion between the sides, a Heat follow-up on DeRozan is expected in the next 24 hours. There's no indication Miami would move mountains to sign him, but they've said they like him, especially if at a bargain. In general, they have been eager to explore other things instead of immediately signing Highsmith, which remains a strong option for Miami. Caleb seems priced out. So, I don't know what to think of that. I don't know what to think of that update. Like, where will DeMar end up? You guys let us know. Is it going to be the Lakers? Is it going to be the Miami Heat? Or maybe it's someone else. It's also going to be the new poll in the live chat. Get those thoughts in there. First vote came in for the Lakers.
Finals vote on Steph, 76%.
76%. Embarrassing
That's
for everybody
low.
who watches Chat Sports.
That's very low.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah.
But you guys let us know. Where will DeMar DeRozan sign? We'll give you guys some shout-outs. Is Grayson saying the Lakers, Aaron saying the Heat, Jonah saying the Clippers, AD Gill saying the Clippers as well. Hey, you guys can vote for the other team on the live poll as the Lakers have the early lead right now, Colin.
They do, man. And look, returning back to California, I mean, there was rumors the last time DeMar was a free agent that he could be heading to Los Angeles. Will he finally make the move? Again, I don't think this really does much in terms of Lakers' projections next year, but I could see it happening in terms of DeMar wanting to go back. So
Oh, somebody threw out there the Milwaukee Bucks in the chat, the Raptors. Maybe DeMar does go back.
Maybe.
Like if he's taking a discount, I could maybe see him going back to Toronto.
I could see it.
No doubt about it. Golden State, I think the Warriors are another option. Ty Man the Buckeyes saying the Heat. Shout out to Ty Man on both chats. He said Heat. That's a real one right there.
Real one.
He's going to
a lot of Golden State
Orlando.
Warriors in the chat.
Yeah, Warriors. I would probably, if I had the power rank, I'd say Lakers number 1, Heat 2, Warriors 3.
Okay.
That's where I would go.
But hey, just a reminder here: if you guys want to have nonstop coverage all off-season long, the NBA,
Chugging
NFL,
along.
everything. Hit that subscribe button down below, that little red button. We got you covered. Daily content being published here at Chat Sports. Myself, Patrick Siepman, a lot of other people here at Chat Sports take a lot of pride in what we put out as a product. And hey, great way to support us, and it's free. It's in that sub button.
Yeah, hit that subscribe button. If we get any news around DeRozan, we'll have a video for you guys ASAP. Yeah, damn, if he goes to the Spurs. Spurs are a dark horse for DeRozan. That'll be interesting. CP, DeMar, team up in San Antonio.
Yeah.
Try to, expedite this Victor Wembanyama Spurs era.
Yeah, could be interesting.
You wanna create a weigh-in real quick?
I'd like to do that.
Drop your hottest NBA hot take.
Okay.
And me and you, we're going to go back and forth.
Okay.
We're going to drop some hot takes.
Drop some hot takes.
We're going to drop some hot takes. I may even call out some people from the office.
We'll see.
I know Petey's got a hot take around the Bulls. You didn't hear that. Drop your hottest take around the NBA in the comment section right now. It could be who's winning the title, most overrated player, most underrated player. Let me know. Hot take. First one coming in from David. Saying, what is going to happen to Darius Garland now that the Mitchell has... That's not a hot take. That's not a hot take. We need some answers here.
We need some juice.
Warriors should tear it down and trade Steph for Jordan Poole and Kuzma. That is a hot take.
Seeps, why don't you get us going, man? You wanted to
hot take?
I'm still thinking of mine.
I have a lot of hot takes.
Let them fly, brother. Paul George isn't a top 20 player, apparently.
Paul George is not a top 20 player in the league. I'll stand by that. I just need to go over a complete list. Because another one, Lauri Markkanen is better than Paul George, but that's just me.
That's just you.
That's just me.
We're getting debatable.
I'll go this. Mm-hmm. I'm a big Spurs guy.
Okay.
If they land DeMar DeRozan,
they're making the playoffs.
Oh, they'll be in the second round of the playoffs.
They'll be in the second round.
If they get DeMar DeRozan, that'll be my hot take. The Spurs will be in the second round of the NBA playoffs. There'll be a 6 seed, shock whoever the 3rd seed is. That's where I will go.
Interesting.
The Powers family. Let's go. Oh, here. Actually, I'll get my man Carl involved. Zion is going to the Knicks by trade deadline for Randall McBride and picks. That's a hot take as well.
That would be a very hot take.
Willie saying DeRozan to the Spurs. Second round. Or for a second round pick. Rocky in the chat saying his hot take is Luka is unwatchable. All right.
Throwing some shade there.
Westbrook was never a winning player coming in from Van Man.
Yeah.
Kobe White is an all-star next season. I like that one. Hot take, Jimmy Butler will be traded for Steph Curry. That's an interesting one. Yeah. We got 2 hot takes around the Heat trade and Jimmy Butler.
Yeah. Interesting.
You got a hot take, Sam?
I'm trying to think of one.
It's a hot take. Who's winning the title? Sneaky playoff team. Leo, you sit on it.
So he's gonna think about that one. I'm still thinking, man. Hot take.
Devin Vassell will be an all-star and within 2 years coming in from Troy. I like that.
Yeah. I don't know how hot of a take this is.
Go for it.
76ers will make the conference finals. I'm calling it right now.
That's not a hot take.
That's
not hot enough. That's not hot enough.
Not enough? Lukewarm?
Sam's sleeping on something. He just gave me a look.
I mean, this is...
Yeah, I got you.
This is just the first one that came to mind. I was thinking back at last year's playoffs. I was like, what are the trends? What are the I'm like Jersey Jerry with the signs.
The sign.
Playoff failure, repeated mistakes. Mistakes is the sign. Mistakes is the sign. Who makes a lot of mistakes during games? Karl Anthony Towns makes a lot of mistakes during games. Karl Anthony Towns is the sign. Zesty is the sign. Karl Anthony Towns will never win a title.
Cat will never win a title. Okay, not a Fetty guy. Not a Fetty guy.
At least as long as he's like the first or second option for a team offensively.
Okay, I like that.
That's interesting.
Hot take.
That is a hot take. That is a hot take.
That's a hot take.
Chet saying sneaky playoff team, the Chicago Bulls. That's too hot. Go for it. I like that. Every super chat that comes in, even if it's $1.
This over is such a lock.
What I say, 112? Yeah, it's going way over. All right, so every super chat that comes in until a player sign, we'll spin the wheel. You know who I want to hear their hot take around the NBA? You want to get Petey? Petey. I feel like Petey's got some good hot takes. Petey, I would love to hear it. Sit on it a little bit. I just want you to get wild. Petey's got some great takes.
Yeah, I gotta fire off some good hot takes here.
Here we go.
Too tall.
Here we go.
Okay, hot takes. I'm going through. There's player takes. There's team takes. I'll give one of each.
Oh, I love this.
Team takes. You ready?
Go for it.
I think the Nuggets are going to become the next. How do they only get one championship team?
I like that.
Not because there is anything fundamentally wrong, but I kind of sense a storm of brewing of, are they going to run into some hurdle every single playoffs, whether it's injuries or just bad matchup with the T-Wolves, and before they look back, they look back and they go, they only won one.
They only won one. I like Jokic having 3 MVPs. Yeah. You're like, how did he only get one? I like that.
So that's my team one. My player one, I'm going to go with something in the Eastern Conference. We'll get to the other side of the Mississippi here.
Gotcha.
Let's go with a team in. You know what? I was talking to Chip about this walking home.
Go for it.
I think this is the year Embiid and the Sixers really put it together.
Wow. Are you calling title right now?
I'm talking Embiid takes the Sixers to 2 playoff series wins.
Okay. I called out Colin. I said that's not hot enough.
Oh, no,
so I'm gonna have to call you out on that.
Spicier,
Petey. Spicier.
Okay, ready? I got one. This one just kind of comes off the clip with no stats to back it up.
Go for it.
Cade Cunningham massively overpaid in terms of like how good he is for what he's being paid. The Pistons kind of had to pick up the option, but I don't think he's going to nearly amount to what you'd expect someone at that pay level to ever produce for you.
Will it, end up being, wins? Like, will it translate to wins? Like Cade Cunningham.
I don't think Cade Cunningham is on the Pistons for the duration of that contract.
I like that.
I think they move on from him before that contract's up. Yep.
We got a hot take as a super chat coming in right here. CR100 saying Trae Young, best player in the world. MVP incoming. Yeah, I think that's more of a ludicrous take than a hot take, CR, but I like where your head's at. That's definitely getting spicy here. Wow, that's interesting. We also just got a report. Apparently the Warriors are going all in on the Lauri Markkanen. Wow. All right. As we did say, every super chat that comes in is a wheel spin. We also got a super chat on the Bulls side of things. We'll get to that, Sam, here in a second. But let's see what it is. Talk about your team. CR, he had a Rockies logo.
So he's got to be Nuggets.
He's got to be a Nuggets guy.
You'd think, right?
We just talked about the Nuggets. PD came in here and said it's going to be, Nuggets are only winning one championship.
Okay.
So there's your little take about your Denver Nuggets. But Sam also coming in. He's been riding the Josh Dobbs hype train in the Bulls chat for the last hour and a half, saying, is Josh Dobbs a favorite to win NBA Finals MVP? Colin, what do you think?
He's got to be, dude.
He's
I mean,
got to be.
What other
man.
name comes to mind, dude?
Yeah, I mean, immediately when I think of NBA's Finals MVP, I think of Josh Dobbs, like immediately. But we do have some real news here. Lauri Markkanen. This is just breaking. Apparently, the Warriors are going all in on Markkanen. This is it right here. This is coming from Monty Poole of NBA or NBCS, NBC Sports of the Bay Area, saying based on what I've heard, the Warriors' number one target is now Lauri Markkanen. And, you know, we've talked about it. I would love this move for the Warriors. I think Markkanen would be a great fit within what they like to do offensively. Just constant player and ball movement. And I think Lauri would, thrive in an offense as such. So, I mean, Colin, let's just say this.
Yep.
Warriors are able to pull off a trade. Andrew Wiggins for Lauri Markkanen.
Yeah. It probably wouldn't be just that straight up, right?
Maybe he's got some future picks or whatever it is. But, I'm talking about just players here.
Right.
Where it's like, they're not giving up Kuminga.
Mm-hmm.
Would you think of the Warriors, where would you rank them in the West?
Well, they wouldn't be above the Mavs, for sure. They wouldn't be above the Thunder.
No.
It wouldn't be. I'd still like the Nuggets, to be honest.
The Nuggets?
Would.
Yeah.
I still would like the Nuggets. Timberwolves, I'll give them the respect based on what they look like. That.
But then you got. Gotcha.
Okay. So we'll hit that in a second. But.
Oh my goodness. I nailed the line. The line was close.
No way.
The line, so the overhit. The overhit. We have news here.
We got news.
We have news. Oh, wow. Probably this is not, it's pretty not like unfortunate news, but this is, not that juicy of news. But Xavier Tillman has agreed on a 2-year deal to return to the Boston Celtics. Sources tell ESPN. So we got a signing. See, does this count as a free agent signing?
You got to stop it and then, set it back. Yeah, I mean,
We're counting this. All right, yeah. We'll count it. I think, At this point, we got to count it. Xavier Tillman heading back to the Boston Celtics. That's not a shocker whatsoever.
Kind of a nothing move.
Yeah, but this is also the question we were asking. If the Warriors do get Lauri Markkanen, do you think they could ever make the finals again with Steph Curry? Let us know. But, yeah, Xavier Tillman, put up 5.3 points per game, 4 rebounds, 1.4 assists for Boston this past season as he is returning on a 2-year deal. The Celtics are clearly going with the running back mentality, and I don't blame them whatsoever. They were a tremendous basketball team last season. You look at any metric, they kicked everybody else in the league's ass this past season. So, Xavier Tillman, not really a needle mover, but just a good move for Boston as Xavier Tillman returning on a 2-year deal to the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics. Alrighty, but we do have a wheel spin for my man. What's his name? Sam Lachatara. Coming in with a wheel spin, so we'll spin that here. We are still waiting on some real news here of NBA free agency. Here we go.
What do you mean, dude? The timer's restarted.
I'm not counting this. In my head, I'm not counting this. All right, if you guys could show Sam some love in the chat. Everybody spam Sam. Let's go.
Sam.
Spam Sam. Yeah, we'll give you guys some shout-outs if you guys type Sam in the comment section. Joshua Williams saying breaking news that breaks the NBA. Xavier Tillman signs for 2 years. Wow, I'm so lost for words right now. I know, dude. This is a needle mover. I think the Celtics now, would you say they're NBA title favorites after this move?
I mean, dude, if they weren't already, I think it's pushed them over the top, clearly.
They got to be, man. They got to be. People typing Sam. Appreciate it. Time Man, Logan, Ronix, Tanner. Time Man on both chats. Saying Sam, shout out to you. J Cash, T Fizzle, saying Lonzo and Vooch for Charlotte for something surely. Yeah, I mean if you can move off LaVine and Vooch, you do so, man. You do so. But make sure you guys are subscribed because if we get any news, we will break it down here in full at Chat Sports. So make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button. We got 813 people watching on our main channel right now. I guarantee you not all of you guys have hit that sub button. So if you guys could help us out, hit that sub button and, really goes a long way here at Chat Sports. Let's dive back into Lauri Markkanen is, there was some, that was a big time update that the Warriors are apparently going all in. Now, what does all in mean? Like, are they giving up Kuminga, you think?
I mean, that would have to be, right? Because, I mean, if you're trying to get Lauri, I highly doubt that it's just Wiggins and maybe, like, Moses Moody or something like that. Like, Kuminga's got to be in the deal, you would think.
You think?
I don't.
Especially with the – you don't think it
so?
would be
If
you're Danny Ainge, like, you're pounding the table for Kuminga.
Right, exactly.
Like, you're probably telling him, I'm not doing this unless I'm getting, JK. So,
Already got a shit ton of picks.
I mean, yeah, after.
yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Warriors.
I mean,
Yeah.
there was that package, Andrew Wiggins and Chris Paul wasn't even good enough to get Zach LaVine.
Yeah,
But
well,
that's because of those massive contracts.
well, Warriors shut that down.
Moses Moody, younger contract, maybe a Trace Jackson
Maybe him.
Davis.
Yeah, maybe even Pods. I would give up Pods,
Yeah,
easily.
But
Like,
Kuminga's where you draw the line, though, if you're the Warriors.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
I kind of agree with that. I wouldn't give up Kuminga for. I say that, but then it's like,
the whole thing is they rebuffed
Would-
they rebuffed it for Paul George, right?
yeah. But like, also you can make the argument where it's like we want to show Steph Curry kind of some respect, kind of give him like, hey, I don't care about Kuminga's more of a future asset. We'll go all in right now for Markkanen. Yeah, that is true. Because like also if you give up Kuminga for Markkanen, it's like, is that a good enough like team to get it done? I don't know. But I think this would be a great move for the Warriors. Obviously, the trade package would be very interesting to see what it could end up looking like. If I had to call it, like Wiggins, Moody, TJD,
Yeah.
Moody in a first.
Moody in a first. Yeah, I'd probably.
Got a shit ton of picks.
Yeah,
See, in my opinion, if I'm the Jazz, I'm saying hell no to that deal.
I am too.
Like,
Yeah.
and we know Danny Ainge. He's a stiff when it comes to trades. So
But Utah's not really going anywhere to begin with.
that is true.
Doesn't stop Danny Ainge, though.
Yeah, Danny Ainge, he wants to be the undisputed winner of every trade.
But yeah, let us know down below. Will the Warriors trade for Lauri Markkanen? Yes or no? I'll give some shout outs here. Lauri Markkanen, future Golden State Warrior.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, if nothing else, it's capitalizing Steph Curry's final prime years, and hey, that's what you're trying to do if you're the Warriors.
Yeah.
We got Jordan saying yes, Ronick saying no, Matt saying no, Tanner saying yes, Logan saying yes, Carter saying no, the Wolves will. And again,
Wolves will trade for Markkanen. That would be
That's crazy.
something.
Did you get another super chat here?
There we go. See. Loop cut. Get back. We got CR pushing the Trae Young agenda again. Love it. Saying Trae Young's best stats for a PG in NBA history through the first 6 years. The disrespect he gets is wild. Trae will shatter records. MVP incoming. I do agree that Trae Young is an underrated basketball player. Like,
to an extent.
to an extent, yeah, definitely. Like,
Yep.
Can he ever be a 1 on a championship team?
No.
I don't think so. This is actually big time news coming out around DeMar DeRozan.
Oh, DeMar. Okay.
Apparently, this is coming in from Chris Haynes. He has zero interest in signing a deal for $13 million, which is the mid-level exception right now. So that's interesting. I think that most likely means DeMar is going to sign a 1-year deal. Wow. So DeMar not interested in playing with the MLE. That impacts the Lakers a lot.
It does.
Because if they were going to sign DeMar, it would most likely have been for that MLE, and that would have required LeBron even taking a pay cut to get him on that. Now, like, could LeBron take a $35 million pay cut to land DeMar DeRozan? We'll wait and see on that. But, yeah, this is coming in. Chris Haynes saying teams like the Lakers and Heat would have to get creative to create cap space or work out a sign and trade. I'll tell you what, if you're a Bulls fan, this is good news.
This is good news.
Very good news for the Bulls because now you're probably going to get something in return. Watch out for the Heat. Maybe it's like a Duncan Robinson type of move, clear up cap. But Jordan saying Dre ain't going nowhere. I don't know, man. I think DeMar is heading out. We'll see, though. In our poll, we said, where will DeMar DeRozan sign? The Lakers, Heat, or other? Lakers at 54%. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's like they send out – I could see a 3-team trade happening where D'Lo goes somewhere, they bring in DeMar, LeBron takes a pay cut. Yeah. But the thing is, if it's a sign and trade, it's got to be a 3-year deal. Like, that's also another kicker you got to think about here. So maybe he does sign a 1-year deal with the Spurs or something. I don't know. Colin, if you had to call it, like, I have no idea.
With this report, San Antonio, to me, like, leapfrogs in the odds. Like,
yeah, I agree.
Tremendously. Yeah, but, I mean, it's...
Like, is there another team we're sleeping on here? Like, Toronto, would he return? I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah, you guys let us know. Where will DeMar sign? Give me an LAL for the Lakers, MIA for the Heat, or other. Comment who you think.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think, because DeMar would want to go somewhere, obviously, where he clearly wants to get paid.
Yeah.
And a team that, I mean, he doesn't want to be part of a rebuild, right? Because otherwise he would have stayed in Chicago.
Yeah.
So,
Can I throw like a wild?
Sam, go for it.
I have no.
Jeez, she just give you
I just like to talk to you guys.
Go for it.
I have no idea of the financial implications, whether they even have the money to afford it. And I'm even looking right now just to make sure I'm not crazy. Not a maybe bad fit in Memphis.
Memphis?
That's I said financial situation. I don't know where they're at.
That would be. Who's there? Because they're probably going to run out.
Right now, their lineup is Ja Morant, Marcus Smart, Desmond Bane. I think Smart can be that 6-man off the bench and move Bane to the 2.
6-man.
Jaren Jackson Jr. and Zach fucking Edey.
Zach Edey.
Oh
no,
my
that's
God.
an interesting. I mean, they could be like a dark horse team where like, wow, I did not see that coming. Especially if Smart moves to the bench. Yeah,
another wild thought I had. There's plenty of rumors. There's been plenty of rumors around the future of the Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell backcourt. Does Cleveland make sense if they decide to move on from Garland because Mitchell's staying around?
I don't hate that at all. Yeah, Cavs is that's literally comes in from main event. Cavs is where he lands. Man, I don't know. Maybe the Rockets come in from red. T Fizzle saying Wiggins for DeMar. Wouldn't hate that if I were the Bulls. Oh my goodness. We got news. This is insane. I'm very happy for Jonathan Isaac. Jonathan Isaac just got extended 5 years, $84 million. That's a bag for a guy who's barely played. I mean, that's incredible. I mean, you like the thought of Jonathan Isaac, like a 7-footer who's improved his 3-point shot over the last couple of years. But, I mean, I got to look up the games played here real quick. Like, Jonathan Isaac, I mean, he's barely been on the basketball court.
at all.
Wow. Former 6th overall pick out of Florida State, only 26 years old. I mean, listen to this. I'm going to list out his games played over the last 5 seasons. He played 58 games in 2023, 11 games in 22, didn't play for 2 seasons. Then in 2019, he played 34 games, 75 in 2018, and 27 in 2017. That's incredible. Jonathan Isaac getting paid 5 years, $84 million. I mean, I'm a fan of Jonathan Isaac. I don't know if I'm this much of a fan for Jonathan Isaac.
Not at all. The fact that, I mean, Orlando clearly had to spend it somewhere.
I guess so, but.
By the way, this does not count as a free agent signing. The time
All right.
He wasn't a free agent.
84 divided by 5, so it comes out to $16, $17 million a year. That's
a little much for a guy who's averaging not even 7 points a game.
That's a lot of money, man. I mean, he's a great defender, has great size, no doubt about it, but Orlando's really banking on their core this offseason. Like, you got back Wagner, you got back Goga, Batatse, and then obviously,
we
bringing in
got him right
KCP here. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, they're really hoping. You know what Orlando's telling me right now? They think Banchero's a top 7-ish player in the world.
Yeah.
Like, they think Banchero's that good. Like, or else they would have tried to get other upgrades. Like, they think he is. Yeah. He could be the true number 1 on a championship team with other moves they've made.
Had a great matchup against Donovan Mitchell in the opening round of the Eastern Conference Final or Eastern Conference playoffs. Excuse me.
Went toe to toe with them.
Yeah. Man, oh man.
That's a lot of money, man. I'm really shocked by that. Yeah, don't love that for Orlando.
That's a contract. I mean, again, because you're not paying Banchero anything, do you kind of just take swings? I mean, that's clear what they're doing with the contracts they've been giving out, but I feel like that money could have gone better elsewhere.
Yeah, Van Man saying that makes the Patrick Williams deal look better. Yeah, I mean, it honestly does, but I mean, I don't know. I think this is I think we're going to see this a lot more with NBA teams, especially with these role players who you think have potential. I mean, right now this is a risk for Orlando. You're hoping in 3 seasons, Jonathan Isaac really ups his game where it's even him on but that's the thing, $16, $17 million a year for a guy like Isaac. I mean, that's
per year.
Wow, per year he's making the same amount of money as Klay. That's 16.8 on this deal. Yeah, Orlando's handing out big money this offseason. I mean, they really believe in their core. No doubt about that one. But yeah, Jonathan Isaac signed a 5-year, $84 million deal to return to the Orlando Magic. But let's take a look now at the top free agents still available. So we do have DeMar DeRozan. Reports are coming out that he could be headed to the Miami Heat, maybe the Los Angeles Lakers. Got guys like Tyus Jones, Caleb Martin, Gary Trent Jr., Buddy Hield, as well. And then we kick it to the next list. Saddiq Bey, solid 3-and-D option. Malik Beasley, one of the better corner three-point shooters we had in the league. Miles Bridges, Precious Achiuwa, Taurean Prince. Then you kick it to this next list. You still got guys like Gordon Hayward, Harris Highsmith, Luke Kennard, Kyle Anderson. Now Patrick Beverley makes the list here. There's still some good names out there. So, we'll see what happens with a lot of these guys. I'm just shocked we haven't had, more moves break, so far. But Carter coming in with a super chat. Thank you so much, saying thoughts on the Timberwolves and what they can do. I don't know if there's a lot they can do.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, their draft going up and getting Rob McDillingham, I think that was
their move. Yeah, 100%.
That was their ace.
Trading Cat, that's a blockbuster type of move.
Yeah. You want to do a wheel spin just for fun?
Yeah, let's do it. Shout out to Carter. Spin that wheel for you. Cheers to you, my friend.
Salute. All right. Oh, there we go. Little beer bong action.
All righty. There we go. There we go.
Yeah. So I'm going to get this set up, but I do want to get something set up before.
I think I'm going to maybe sign off. No, I'll let the bullet stream keep going. Why not? Okay. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but you guys let us know. Where will DeMar DeRozan sign? LAL for the Lakers, MIA for the Heat. Or if you guys got another team, comment below. Let us know. Where is DeMar DeRozan going to end up? Just something. Gotcha. Yeah. 30 minutes. Gotcha. Yeah. Let us know where would DeMar DeRozan sign. We got Young Liam saying Lakers. Grayson saying the Lakers. USA #1 saying the Clippers. Joshua Williams saying the Miami Heat. Grayson Foster saying the Lakers. Sean Harris saying I need his agent. LOL. Cardev saying the Lakers down below in the chat. We also got Game Master saying the Miami Heat. But Colin pulling up that beer bong right now in the Morbanga. A little spillage. He's sending it back, though. Shout out to Colin. Everybody show Colin some love in the chats. Type Colin down below. Let's go. Here we go. Richard saying, Patrick, you guys are amazing and MIA. Richard, I appreciate you, my friend. I appreciate you. There we go. There we go.
There we go. Whew. We're good. We're good. All right.
Alrighty, well, we're going to dive in to a little bit of a tracker here. Coming up, just going over all of the moves that have gone down so far during free agency. So we'll be diving that here in a second as, go for it.
We can't do the countdown clock while you do.
Oh, yeah. That's unfortunate,
That was fun.
but
I was sitting there.
it was a good idea.
I'm so upset I didn't think of this idea 2 days ago.
Yeah, when it would have been
Perfect.
perfect. Yeah, but we're going to go over all the moves that have just happened. But if you guys are having a good time, I'd appreciate it. If you guys hit that thumbs up icon. Hey, we're 10 likes away from another Beers Cheers on Main. So if you guys could, like the videos. We're also getting another report here that the Sacramento Kings are a dark horse team for DeMar DeRozan. This is coming in from Mark J. Spears. Sacramento Kings could get involved in the DeMar DeRozan sweepstakes. I'll see. I really don't have any clue where DeMar is going to go, if we're just being honest. So I'm watching a clip of Josh Giddey dunking on somebody in the international game he's playing in right now. Kings is very interesting. I wouldn't hate that. Hey, sign and trade. Send us Kevin Herter. We need a shooter. Alrighty. We're going to dive into a tracker so far of everything that has gone down over the last 2 days of NBA free agency. Let's get into it. What's going on, everybody? Just wanted to recap the last couple of days of NBA free agency, as it's been a slower day 3, but there are still some big-time moves that I wanted to break down with all of you guys. So we got to start it off with the last 2 days. Derek Jones heading to the Los Angeles Clippers. That was a late-night deal a couple of nights ago. And then, the late-night Philadelphia 76ers made a ton of moves happen as they brought back Kelly Oubre on a 2-year, $16 million deal. And then the biggest signing of free agency, Paul George, signing with the Sixers for a 4-year max extension. And, Philadelphia has definitely put themselves in position to be contenders in the Eastern Conference over the next couple of years. They got Embiid, PG, and Maxey all locked up for the next couple of seasons. And, Paul George, it's a seamless fit in Philadelphia. Like, he is truly one of those players in the NBA where you can throw him into any type of rotation, any type of offense, and, he will do a good job, fitting in there. But, even the numbers of the last couple of seasons, always been a very efficient basketball player, super smooth, super silky, very aesthetically pleasing game. And, they also gave Tyrese Maxey a well-deserved bag as, Maxey, we saw the jump last regular season of, him becoming a true all-star guard. And then we even saw in the postseason, him against the New York Knicks, he was absolutely fantastic. He's always been a very efficient basketball player, but, always had the question about Maxey, like if the usage and the shots per game went up, could he maintain the efficiency? Well, he did. 45% from the field last season and 37.3% from downtown, averaging 26 points per game on 6.2 assists. Like, Maxey's a hell of a basketball player, and he's only going to continue to get better. Like, no doubt about it. Like, we haven't seen the best version of Tyrese Maxey yet in the NBA. So if the Sixers, if they can stay healthy, they're going to be a wagon in that Eastern Conference, and they're going to be one of those teams where you just don't want to face them in the playoffs. But hey, you guys predict it for me. Are the Sixers title contenders with PG-13? Give me a Y for yes or an N for no down in the comments section. So you guys have to say is Grayson Foster saying the Sixers are stacked. No doubt about it. The Sixers are a stacked unit right now. And, the thing is with Philadelphia, it's going to come down to health. It's going to come down to the knees of, Paul George and Joel Embiid if they're going to make it. But actually, we got some disagreements in the chat. Linda saying no. Jalen saying no. Black Genius saying no as well. Jonah Play saying no. So, Sixers are still going to have some doubters out there. But, if they're healthy, they're a wagon, to be dealt with. But let's kick it along. To the Oklahoma City Thunder, making a ton of big-time moves. Brought back 2 important role players on their squad of Aaron Wiggins and Isaiah Joe. Love both of those signings. Jalen Smith heading to the Chicago Bulls on a 3-year, $27 million deal, as the Bulls are really embracing, this youth movement here in Chicago. And then my favorite signing of free agency so far, and people call it an overpay, and I understand, but I think the Thunder made a great call giving Isaiah Hartenstein 3 years, $87 million, because this could be a move we look back on. Let's just say OKC goes on and wins it all. We're not going to be talking about that extra $5-6 million, that the Thunder gave him. And, plus my argument on why they should have overpaid Hartenstein was they got Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren, still on their rookie deals. So they, positioned themselves to overpay for a guy like Isaiah Hartenstein. And why did they lose to the Dallas Mavericks in the playoffs last year? SGA made a bad decision on a closeout in the corner, and also they got their ass kicked on the offense or on the defensive glass. Hartenstein will fix that. I mean, he was fantastic for the Knicks this past season. Really am a big fan of what they've done, as Sam Presti remains one of the best GMs in the NBA. But kick it to Tobias Harris, signed a 2-year, $52 million deal with the Detroit Pistons, as I think Tobias Harris is going to go down as one of the NBA players that has made the most money and made the least amount of impact in this league. He just continues to rake in cash. Drew Eubanks does go to the Utah Jazz, 2 years, $10 million deal. Luka Garza, one of the best college players of all time, returns to the Minnesota Timberwolves on a 2-year deal. And then also DeLon Wright does go to the Milwaukee Bucks on a 1-year, $3.3 million deal. But hey, if you guys are enjoying free agency so far, if you guys could like today's show, it just helps us get this, stream out to more and more NBA fans. If you guys could like today's video, I'd really, really appreciate it. But let's kick it along here. Derek White did sign a 4-year extension with the Boston Celtics, coming out to around $31 million per year. 4 years, $125.9 million. Klay Thompson, another move I love, signed a 3-year, $50 million deal with the Dallas Mavericks. And, I think if you have the ranked players with the biggest chips on their shoulder heading into the next season, Klay Thompson is on that short list. Like, he's heard the way everybody's talked about him, calling him a cooked product. And, I hear that. He's definitely not the same player he once was, but I just think it's a lazy take if you think Klay Thompson is not going to be effective for the Dallas Mavericks. I mean, in a down year last year, he was still a great basketball player. 18 points a game in only 30 minutes, shooting 38.7% from downtown on a bad year. I'll say that again. Klay Thompson had a bad year, shooting 39% from beyond the arc. Luka is going to force feed him open shots, and I think Klay, I think we're going to see a real bounce back year from him, down there with the Dallas Mavericks. But, a big-time deal, the largest in NBA history, Jason Tatum getting that 5-year, $314 million deal. He could have signed it for $315, but the area code he grew up in St. Louis, it was $314, so he decided to, take that $1 million less. So a little corny out of Tatum, kind of fits his MO of this offseason. So he does sign that 5-year, mega extension with the Boston Celtics. But Goga Bitadze signed a 3-year, $25 million deal with the Magic. And then we also had the Magic bringing back Gary Harris on a 2-year, $15 million deal. Chris Dunn and Mo Bamba heading to the Clippers to help fill out their bench, as I like both those moves from the Clippers side of things. But Donovan Mitchell signed a mega deal with the Cleveland Cavaliers of 3 years, $150 million. About what? I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. So we were talking about the St. Louis. Let me look up this area code real quick. I saw it on Twitter, so it could be St. Louis area code's 314. It's incredible, Coop. Yeah, we were just talking about Tatum taking that $314 million deal to match the area code he grew up in. Just typical Jason Tatum fashion on that one. But, yeah, let's talk about Donovan Mitchell here. So, what does this mean from Darius Garland? Are they going to continue to run back that core they have of Garland, Mobley, and obviously D. Mitch and Jared Allen? Not really too sure. If I was Cleveland, I would probably try to break it up, try to get a better fit at that 2 guard. And also, I think Darius Garland, he's a good off-ball player, but he's at its best when he is running the offense. He is running the show at that spot. So I would try to move off Garland, try to shake it up there in Cleveland. We'll have to wait and see, what he decides there. But, I mean, Mitchell's a tremendous basketball player. I mean, filling up the stat sheet over the last couple of years, we have seen him fizzle out a couple times in the postseason over the last 3 years. I think his game is very redundant, where Mitchell, he just loves to spam, high pick and roll, and when you get into the playoffs, you're obviously, you see that over and over again. It just becomes easier to guard. But, Mitchell, he deserved that contract by Cleveland, and honestly, we were at the point, like, what else is Cleveland, going to do there? But we kick it to the moves that just broke a little bit ago. Xavier Tillman did return to the Boston Celtics on a 2-year deal. And then a bit of a shocker, Jonathan Isaac getting 5 years, $84 million from the Orlando Magic for a guy who hasn't played more than 60 games since 2018. Bit of a shocker there. Maybe Orlando is trying to, bank on him, taking that next step in his development. I don't know. Maybe they're going to think we're going to look back on that deal as, team friendly in a couple of years. But as it stands right now, that is a massive overpay for Jonathan Isaac. But clearly the Magic front office is putting the faith in the young forward over there. But, yeah, that's how it stands right now. Just went over all the signings that have went down during, free agency. I like a lot of these moves for these teams, but, we'll have to wait and see how this plays out, obviously, during the actual season. But, hey, get down in the chat right now. Shout out your favorite team for me in the comments section, and we'll talk about the first one we see. As also on the Bulls side of things, we are going to sign off here. Just want to say thank you, guys. We got more time? Oh, yeah, gotcha. Yeah, we'll actually be hitting some DeMar, Laurie, and LaVine stuff coming up here in a second. Yeah. Let's do it.
We'll get that going. Seeps, whenever you're ready. Count you down.
All right, count me down, Colin.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Miami Heat.
Talk about the Heat.
I think the Miami Heat are in a tough spot. I think they're in a very tough spot. They signed Bam to a 3-year extension last week. Good deal. Need to do it. I just think, could the Heat compete with the Sixers, Knicks, or Celtics? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
They're closer to the play-in than they are the,
the Miami Heat. Their best friend is the play-in tournament.
There you go.
I think the Magic are better than them. I think the Pacers are better than them. I think we overvalue Heat culture just a little bit. But yeah, I think they're going to be living in the play-in tournament over the next couple of years. So, have fun being the new Chicago Bulls, Miami. But yeah, they just haven't done anything this offseason. Now, if they go get DeMar DeRozan, I'll completely change my thoughts about them, as I think that'll be a great pickup for Miami. But as it stands right now, they're going to probably be the 7th or 8th seed in the East next season.
I don't hate that take at all. Do not hate it. I think look, man, they kind of sat on their hands this free agency.
Yeah.
I mean, we were really expecting them to potentially, I don't know if they were deep into talks with Mitch or not, D-Mitch, but yeah, now we're sitting here and the future is bleak for Miami, to say the least. So, all right, I'm going to be doing the same thing here. I'm going to get
Colin's going to look at the chat, give his take on your favorite team.
So I'm going to be looking this
Spam
way.
it down below.
I got you. We'll talk some hoops. Let's see.
Go 5, 4, 3, 2. Go for it.
First one I saw was the Knicks.
The Knicks. Okay. Love what they did, obviously, with acquiring Bridges. Did not think that was possible.
Yeah. Finally cashed in. Here we go. They added Miles Bridges. Obviously, OG Anunoby's been with the team for a minute here. They did lose Isaiah Hartenstein to the Thunder. That's going to be an interesting blow, or a devastating blow, I should say. And obviously, Bojan Bogdanovic was in that Bridges trade.
Yeah.
Here's the thing what I'm thinking about with the Knicks. They still can potentially make moves in terms of acquiring somebody. I don't think that's going to happen until potentially the trade deadline.
Yeah.
At best, they're probably going to get like a meddling center that can, give you valuable minutes. And I'm sure, Tom Thibodeau is going to coach them up and everything. But, I mean, you got to look at the rest of this Knicks roster. I mean, Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges.
It's loaded, man.
It's loaded, man. I mean, they are, to me, along with the 76ers and the Celtics, like that top tier in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah. We heard reports about them being interested in Walker Kessler potentially.
Yeah.
That's an interesting name. Yeah, I think the Knicks, would I be shocked if they're in the NBA Finals next season? Hell no. I think we're realizing in the NBA nowadays, like, continuity matters. Like, you look at the last 2 champions.
Yep.
Denver. Honestly, what do the last 2 champions have in common? They're big, physical teams who have played together for a while.
Yep.
I understand the Knicks have, this group of players just in the NBA has just came together, but, like, Devo, Bridges, like Josh Hart, Brunson, they all, they won a national championship with each other. So I think, would I be shocked if the Knicks are in the finals next year? Not at all. Not at all. But let's talk about a little DeMar DeRozan here. Latest on DeMar is that him and the Heat are supposed to meet within the next 24 hours. And, they'll figure out something there. But also we got reports from Chris Haynes saying that DeMar has zero interest in taking the MLE for $13 million. Don't blame him at all. He is a way better player than that. But it would, impact the Lakers and the Heat as they would then have to get creative to work out, to create some cap space and work out a sign-in trade. But also if it's a sign-in trade, it would have to be a 3-year deal. So very interesting on DeRozan. I think, how we've been kind of complaining that, like, nothing has happened so far. I think it's this new freaking CBA. You got to work out every little, every little thing, to get a deal that'll end up working out. But, DeMar, I think he's worth more than $13 million. I don't blame him at all. If I were him, I would go to the Lakers, return home to Compton, California, and hopefully go compete with LeBron James and Anthony Davis on that one. So we'll see what DeMar ends up doing, but we'll see. We'll see. But let's dive into Lauri Markkanen here. We were getting reports that the Warriors could be going all in on Lauri this offseason, as obviously a disappointing offseason for Golden State as they lost Klay Thompson. We're going to look back at the Draymond Green punch. That was the moment that the dynasty ended. Like, at that moment, that was when it ended. I feel bad for Curry, but they got 4 championships. If they get Markkanen, like, does it really change how you feel about them too much? I mean, it definitely makes them a way better basketball team. I think it would be a great fit, but, even then, like, are they competing with the Thunder? Are they competing with the Timberwolves? Are they competing, with the Nuggets? Or, obviously the Mavericks, who just represented the West, last year. And I'm a big fan of Lauri. I think he's underrated amongst NBA media circles, but I don't know. I think he could be a second-best player on the championship team, but I don't know if the Warriors have the team around him and Curry, to really get to that next step. Obviously, Kuminga developing would be huge for that ball club, but, I mean, Lauri's a stud, man, no doubt about it. But let's talk about little Zach LaVine here. LaVine, he's got the worst contract in the NBA. I am shocked that the Warriors did turn down that deal of Wiggins and Chris Paul, I will say. Obviously as a Bulls fan, I would have loved that deal to go down, because you would have been able to just waive Chris Paul, he goes somewhere else, and then you have Wiggins on a 2-year deal. So I would have loved that for the Bulls side of things, but I'm just shocked from the Warriors perspective. Like, I actually think Zach LaVine would be a good fit. Their offense, it's all player movement, it's all off ball, and LaVine being the offensive powerhouse he is, like, I think it makes a lot of sense. And also the Kings, they play a very similar fashion as the Golden State Warriors. Obviously Mike Brown going over there. But, I mean, LaVine this past season was definitely his worst of his career so far. Like, if you talk about LaVine's, like, just red flags, it's obviously defense, leadership, and, the contract. So you would hope to find a team that kind of can mask that. Maybe it's the San Antonio Spurs, even though I think they're probably out of that, trade discussions as it stands right now. Like the Kings, Warriors, maybe they could get involved, but I don't know, man. LaVine I just feel like the Bulls are going to, keep him on this roster this upcoming year, try to up his trade value, midway through the season, and then hopefully try to deal him at the deadline. But, hey, if you guys love the NBA, let's get the chat going a little bit. We'll give you guys a shout-out down below. Type those me's for me, and we'll shout out every single person that does type me.
Shout out to Grayson. Appreciate you tuning in, brother. Keep spamming those me's. Ronix with a me. Jonah with a me.
Miami Heat boy.
Jonah.
Carl.
Shout
what
out
up,
to
Carl?
You, brother.
How you doing? once LaVine athleticism goes away, he's going to look horrible. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't think LaVine's game is going to age that nicely, but at least for the next 3 to 4 years, he'll still be effective. Yeah, we'll give a shout out to
Tyman, shout out to Jordan, Logan, Zach Attack, David Decker. Pretty sure I saw Sam's burner somewhere in there. So, Tropical Gamer.
Fake news.
No burner.
David, the homie Sam, Tropical Gamer, David. Shout out to you guys.
Yeah, appreciate
for
you,
rocking
man.
with us. Nicholas. There we go. Tyman, Nicholas, David. Amazing. Shout out to you, Chase, Jordan, David, Jordan. A lot of the same guys. Feel free to chime in, guys. Let's go.
Keep going to work,
Arthur,
fellas.
Zach Attack. See if you see any. Feel free. Tyman. He's doing it in both chats.
Yeah, Tyman's dual wielding this right now.
Carmelo.
Dakota Hayes. Type in Dakota Hayes. Joshua, shout out to you, man.
Go, Miami Heat boy. Jeffrey, shout out to you. Jamie. Young Leem, shout out to you. Jamie, Jonathan, Jordan, Nicholas, Linda, Jordan, Carmelo, J-Dog, Corey, Zach Attack, the Ruiz family. Shout out to the whole family.
Shout out to the whole fam.
Here we go. Amazing.
Tropical Gamer, Nicholas, all of you guys.
I am a coward in the Bulls chat. You're not a coward, brother.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Anthony Vargas in the Bulls chat as well. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to Jordan Perry. Yep. I'm Squish. Just another disappointing day of free agency. I mean, this is incredible. Like we're at 4:36 p.m. and nothing has happened. So, just want to say thank you so much for everybody who tuned in today. We've been live for an hour or 3 hours and 40 minutes, chopping it up about Xavier Tillman, Jonathan Isaac, and a bunch of minuscule moves that were made. So, Young Leem, shout out to you. I appreciate you tuning in. Neon, all you guys, thank you guys so much for sticking with us throughout this day. Wish we had more fun news for you guys, but it's been a pretty slow NBA free agency so far. As I just feel like the 4th of July, all this is gonna end up popping off. But Ben Y saying Laurie to Warriors imminent. No, I don't think it's imminent, but apparently the Warriors have made Markkanen their #1 trade target. Young Leem type of me. Shout out to you, man. I appreciate you for tuning in. Yeah, we're gonna sign off here at a Bulls Report. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're gonna stay live on our main channel here. So shout out to all you guys. We're gonna go to the loop right now. So appreciate you. We're all good over there. All right. See you guys soon. What's going on, everybody? Just wanted to recap the last couple of days of NBA free agency, as it's been a slower day 3, but there are still some big-time moves that I wanted to break down with all of you guys. So we got to start it off with the last 2 days. Derek Jones heading to the Los Angeles Clippers. That was a late-night deal a couple of nights ago. And then, the late-night Philadelphia 76ers made a ton of moves happen as they brought back Kelly Oubre on a 2-year, $16 million deal. And then the biggest signing of free agency, Paul George, signing with the Sixers for a 4-year max extension. And, Philadelphia has definitely put themselves in position to be contenders in the Eastern Conference over the next couple of years. They got Embiid, PG, and Maxey all locked up for the next couple of seasons. And, Paul George, it's a seamless fit in Philadelphia. Like, he is truly one of those players in the NBA where you can throw him into any type of rotation, any type of offense, and, he will do a good job, fitting in there. But, I mean, even the numbers of the last couple of seasons, always been a very efficient basketball player, super smooth, super silky, very aesthetically pleasing game. And, they also gave Tyrese Maxey a well-deserved bag as, Maxey, we saw the jump last regular season of, him becoming a true all-star guard. And then we even saw in the postseason, him against the New York Knicks, he was absolutely fantastic. He's always been a very efficient basketball player, but, always had the question about Maxey, like if the usage and the shots per game went up, could he maintain the efficiency? Well, he did. I mean, 45% from the field last season and 37.3% from downtown, averaging 26 points per game on 6.2 assists. Like, Maxi's a hell of a basketball player, and he's only going to continue to get better. Like, no doubt about it. Like, we haven't seen the best version of Tyrese Maxey yet in the NBA. So if the Sixers, if they can stay healthy, they're going to be a wagon in that Eastern Conference, and they're going to be one of those teams where you just don't want to face them in the playoffs. But hey, you guys predict it for me. Are the Sixers title contenders with PG-13? Give me a Y for yes or an N for no down in the comments section. So you guys have to say is Grayson Foster saying the Sixers are stacked. No doubt about it. I mean, the Sixers are a stacked unit right now. And, the thing is with Philadelphia, it's going to come down to health. It's going to come down to the knees of, Paul George and Joel Embiid if they're going to make it. But actually, we got some disagreements in the chat. Linda saying no. Jalen saying no. Black Genius saying no as well. Jonah Play saying no. So, Sixers are still going to have some doubters out there. But, if they're healthy, they're a wagon, to be dealt with. But let's kick it along. To the Oklahoma City Thunder, making a ton of big-time moves. Brought back two important role players on their squad of Aaron Wiggins and Isaiah Joe. Love both of those signings. Jalen Smith heading to the Chicago Bulls on a 3-year, $27 million deal as the Bulls are really embracing, this youth movement here in Chicago. And then my favorite signing of free agency so far, and people call it an overpay, and I understand, but I think the Thunder made a great call giving Isaiah Hartenstein 3 years, $87 million, because this could be a move we look back on. Let's just say OKC goes on and wins it all. We're not going to be talking about that extra $5-6 million, that the Thunder gave him. And, plus my argument on why they should have overpaid Hartenstein was they got Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren, still on their rookie deal. So they, positioned themselves to overpay for a guy like Isaiah Hartenstein. And why did they lose to the Dallas Mavericks in the playoffs last year? SGA made a bad decision on a closeout in the corner, and also they got their ass kicked on the offense or on the defensive glass. Hartenstein will fix that. I mean, he was fantastic for the Knicks this past season. Really am a big fan of what they've done as Sam Presti remains one of the best GMs in the NBA. But kick it to Tobias Harris, signed a 2-year, $52 million deal with the Detroit Pistons. As I think Tobias Harris is going to go down as one of the NBA players that has made the most money and made the least amount of impact in this league. He just continues to rake in cash. Drew Eubanks does go to the Utah Jazz, 2 years, $10 million deal. Luka Garza, one of the best college players of all time, returns to the Minnesota Timberwolves on a 2-year deal. And then also DeLon Wright does go to the Milwaukee Bucks on a 1-year, $3.3 million deal. But hey, if you guys are enjoying free agency so far, if you guys could like today's show, it just helps us get this, stream out to more and more NBA fans. If you guys could like today's video, I'd really, really appreciate it. But let's kick it along here. Derek White did sign a 4-year extension with the Boston Celtics, coming out to around $31 million per year. 4 years, $125.9 million. Klay Thompson, another move I love, signed a 3-year, $50 million deal with the Dallas Mavericks. And, I think if you have the ranked players with the biggest chips on their shoulder heading into the next season, Klay Thompson is on that short list. Like, he's heard the way everybody's talked about him, calling him a cooked product. And, I hear that. He's definitely not the same player he once was, but I just think it's a lazy take if you think Klay Thompson is not going to be effective for the Dallas Mavericks. I mean, in a down year last year, he was still a great basketball player. 18 points a game in only 30 minutes, shooting 38.7% from downtown on a bad year. I'll say that again. Klay Thompson had a bad year, shooting 39% from beyond the arc. Luka is going to force feed him open shots, and I think Klay, I think we're going to see a real bounce back year from him, down there with the Dallas Mavericks. But, a big-time deal, the largest in NBA history, Jason Tatum getting that 5-year, $314 million deal. He could have signed it for $315, but the area code he grew up in St. Louis, it was $314, so he decided to, take that $1 million less. So, a little corny out of Tatum, kind of fits his MO of this offseason. So, he does sign that 5-year, mega extension with the Boston Celtics. But Goga Bitadze signed a 3-year, $25 million deal with the Magic. And then we also had the Magic bringing back Gary Harris on a 2-year, $15 million deal. Chris Dunn and Mo Bamba heading to the Clippers to help fill out their bench, as I like both those moves from the Clippers side of things. But Donovan Mitchell signed a mega deal with the Cleveland Cavaliers of 3 years, $150 million. About what? I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. So we were talking about the St. Louis. Let me look up this area code real quick. I saw it on Twitter, so it could be St. Louis area code's 314. It's incredible, Coop. Yeah, we were just talking about Tatum taking that $314 million deal to match the area code he grew up in. Just typical Jason Tatum fashion on that one. But yeah, let's talk about Donovan Mitchell here. So, what does this mean from Darius Garland? Are they going to continue to run back that core they have of Garland, Mobley, and obviously D. Mitch and Jared Allen? Not really too sure. If I was Cleveland, I would probably try to break it up, try to get a better fit at that 2 guard. And also, I think Darius Garland, he's a good off-ball player, but he's at his best when he is running the offense. He is running the show at that spot. So I would try to move off Garland, try to shake it up there in Cleveland. We'll have to wait and see, what he decides there. But, Mitchell's a tremendous basketball player. Filling up the stat sheet over the last couple of years, we have seen him fizzle out a couple times in the postseason over the last 3 years. I think his game is very redundant, where Mitchell, he just loves to spam, high pick and roll, and when you get into the playoffs, you're obviously, you see that over and over again. It just becomes easier to guard. But, Mitchell, he deserved that contract by Cleveland, and honestly, we were at the point, what else is Cleveland, going to do there? But we kick it to the moves that just broke a little bit ago. Xavier Tillman did return to the Boston Celtics on a 2-year deal. And then a bit of a shocker, Jonathan Isaac getting 5 years, $84 million from the Orlando Magic for a guy who hasn't played more than 60 games since 2018. Bit of a shocker there. Maybe Orlando is trying to, bank on him, taking that next step in his development. I don't know. Maybe they're going to think we're going to look back on that deal as, team friendly in a couple of years. But as it stands right now, that is a massive overpay for Jonathan Isaac. But clearly the Magic front office is putting the faith in the young forward over there. But yeah, that's how it stands right now. Just went over all the signings that have went down during free agency. I like a lot of these moves for these teams, but we'll have to wait and see how this plays out. Obviously during the actual season. But hey, get down in the chat right now. Shout out your favorite team for me in the comments section, and we'll talk about the first one we see. As also on the Bulls side of things, we are going to sign off here. Just want to say thank you guys. We got more time? Oh, yeah, gotcha. Yeah, we'll actually be hitting some DeMar, Laurie, and LaVine stuff coming up here in a second. Yeah. Let's do it.
We'll get that going. Seeps, whenever you're ready. Count you down.
All right, count me down, Colin.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Miami Heat.
Talk about the Heat.
I think the Miami Heat are in a tough spot. I think they're in a very tough spot. Signed Bam to a 3-year extension last week. Good deal. Need to do it. I just think, could the Heat compete with the Sixers, Knicks, or Celtics? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
They're closer to the play-in than they are the,
the Miami Heat. Their best friend is the play-in tournament.
There you go.
I think the Magic are better than them. I think the Pacers are better than them. I think we overvalue Heat culture just a little bit. But yeah, I think they're going to be living in the play-in tournament over the next couple of years. So, have fun being the new Chicago Bulls, Miami. But yeah, they just haven't done anything this offseason. Now, if they go get DeMar DeRozan, I'll completely change my thoughts about them, as I think that'll be a great pickup for Miami. But as it stands right now, they're going to probably be the 7th or 8th seed in the East next season.
I don't hate that take at all. Do not hate it. I think look, man, they kind of sat on their hands this free agency.
Yeah.
We were really expecting them to potentially, I don't know if they were deep into talks with Mitch or not, D-Mitch, but yeah, now we're sitting here and the future is bleak for Miami, to say the least. So, all right, I'm going to be doing the same thing here. I'm going to get
Colin's going to look at the chat, give his take on your favorite team.
So I'm going to be looking this
Spam
way.
it down below.
I got you. We'll talk some hoops. Let's see.
Go 5, 4, 3, 2, go for it.
First one I saw was the Knicks.
The Knicks, okay. Love what they did, obviously, with acquiring Bridges. Did not think that was possible.
Yeah. Finally cashed in.
Finally cashed in.
Here we go. They added Miles Bridges. Obviously, OG Anunoby's been with the team for a minute here. They did lose Isaiah Hartenstein to the Thunder. That's going to be an interesting blow, or a devastating blow, I should say. And obviously, Bojan Bogdanovic was in that Bridges trade.
Yeah.
Here's the thing what I'm thinking about with the Knicks. They still can potentially make moves in terms of acquiring somebody. I don't think that's going to happen until potentially the trade deadline.
Yeah.
At best, they're probably going to get like a meddling center that can, give you valuable minutes. And I'm sure, Tom Thibodeau is going to coach them up and everything. But, I mean, you got to look at the rest of this Knicks roster. I mean, Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges.
Yeah, it's loaded, man.
It's loaded, man. I mean, they are, to me, along with the 76ers and the Celtics, like that top tier in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
About it.
Like, I mean, we heard reports about them being interested in Walker Kessler potentially.
Yeah. That's
an interesting name. Yeah, I think the Knicks, I mean, would I be shocked if they're in the NBA Finals next season? Hell no. I think we're realizing in the NBA nowadays, like, continuity matters. Like, you look at the last two champions.
Yep.
Denver. Honestly, what do the last two champions have in common? They're big, physical teams who have played together for a while.
Yep.
I understand the Knicks have, this group of players just in the NBA has just came together, but, like, Devo, Bridges, like Josh Hart, Brunson, they all, they won a national championship with each other. So I think, would I be shocked if the Knicks are in the finals next year? Not at all. Not at all. But let's talk about a little DeMar DeRozan here. Latest on DeMar is that him and the Heat are supposed to meet within the next 24 hours. And, they'll figure out something there. But also we got reports from Chris Haynes saying that DeMar has zero interest in taking the MLE for $13 million. Don't blame him at all. He is a way better player than that. But it would, impact the Lakers and the Heat as they would then have to get creative to work out, to create some cap space and work out a sign-in trade. But also if it's a sign-in trade, it would have to be a 3-year deal. So very interesting on DeRozan. I think, how we've been kind of complaining that, like, nothing has happened so far. I think it's this new freaking CBA. You got to work out every little, every little thing, to get a deal that'll end up working out. But, DeMar, I think he's worth more than $13 million. I don't blame him at all. If I were him, I would go to the Lakers, return home to Compton, California, and hopefully go compete with LeBron James and Anthony Davis on that one. So we'll see what DeMar ends up doing, but we'll see. We'll see. But let's dive into Lauri Markkanen here. We were getting reports that the Warriors could be going all in on Lauri this offseason, as obviously a disappointing offseason for Golden State as they lost Klay Thompson. We're going to look back at the Draymond Green punch. That was the moment that the dynasty ended. Like, at that moment, that was when it ended. I feel bad for Curry, but they got 4 championships. If they get Markkanen, like, does it really change how you feel about them too much? I mean, it definitely makes them a way better basketball team. I think it would be a great fit, but, even then, like, are they competing with the Thunder? Are they competing with the Timberwolves? Are they competing, with the Nuggets? Or, obviously the Mavericks, who just represented the West, last year. And I'm a big fan of Lauri. I think he's underrated amongst NBA media circles, but I don't know. I think he could be a second-best player on the championship team, but I don't know if the Warriors have the team around him and Curry, to really get to that next step. Obviously, Kuminga developing would be huge for that ball club, but, I mean, Lauri's a stud, man, no doubt about it. But let's talk about little Zach LaVine here. LaVine, he's got the worst contract in the NBA. I am shocked that the Warriors did turn down that deal of Wiggins and Chris Paul, I will say. Obviously as a Bulls fan, I would have loved that deal to go down because you would have been able to just waive Chris Paul, he goes somewhere else, and then you have Wiggins on a 2-year deal. So I would have loved that for the Bulls side of things, but I'm just shocked from the Warriors perspective. Like, I actually think Zach LaVine would be a good fit. Their offense, it's all player movement, it's all off ball, and LaVine being the offensive powerhouse he is, like, I think it makes a lot of sense. And also the Kings, they play a very similar fashion as the Golden State Warriors. Obviously Mike Brown going over there. But I mean, LaVine this past season was definitely his worst of his career so far. You know, like if you talk about LaVine's like just red flags, it's obviously defense, leadership, and the contract. So you would hope to find a team that kind of can mask that. Maybe it's the San Antonio Spurs, even though I think they're probably out of that, trade discussions as it stands right now. Like the Kings, Warriors, maybe they could get involved, but I don't know, man. LaVine I just feel like the Bulls are gonna, keep him on this roster this upcoming year. Try to up his trade value, midway through the season, and then hopefully try to deal him at the deadline. But hey, if you guys love the NBA, let's get the chat going a little bit. We'll give you guys a shout out down below. Type those me's for me, and we'll shout out every single person that does type me.
Shout out to Grayson. Appreciate you tuning in, brother. Keep spamming those me's. Ronix with me. Jonah with the me.
Miami Heat boy.
Jonah.
Carl.
Shout
what
out
up,
to
Carl?
you, brother.
How you doing? Once LaVine athleticism goes away, he's going to look horrible. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't think LaVine's game is going to age that nicely, but at least for the next 3 to 4 years, he'll still be effective. Yeah, we'll give a shout out to
Ty Man, shout out to Jordan, Logan, Zach Attack, David Decker. Pretty sure I saw Sam's burner somewhere in there. So, Tropical Gamer.
Fake news.
No burner.
David, the homie Sam, Tropical Gamer, David. Shout out to you guys.
Yeah, appreciate
for
you,
rocking
man.
with us. Nicholas. There we go. Ty Man, Nicholas, David. Amazing. Shout out to you, Chase, Jordan, David, Jordan. A lot of the same guys. Feel free to chime in, guys. Let's go.
Keep going to work,
Arthur,
fellas.
Zach Attack. See if you see any. Feel free. Ty Man. He's doing it in both chats.
Yeah,
Shout out
Ty Man's dual wielding this right now.
Carmelo.
Dakota
Yeah,
Hayes,
Jermaine.
type in Dakota Hayes. Joshua, shout out to you, man.
Go, Miami Heat boy. Jeffrey, shout out to you. Jamie. Young Leem, shout out to you. Jamie, Jonathan, Jordan, Nicholas, Linda, Jordan, Carmelo, J-Dog, Corey, Zach Attack, the Ruiz family. Shout out to the whole family.
Shout out to the whole fam.
Here we go. Amazing.
Tropical Gamer, Nicholas, all of you guys.
I am a coward in the Bulls chat. You're not a coward, brother.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Anthony Vargas in the Bulls chat as well. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to Jordan Perry.
Yep.
I'm Squish. Just another disappointing day of free agency. I mean, this is incredible. Like we're at 4:36 p.m. and nothing has happened. So, dude, just want to say thank you so much for everybody who tuned in today. We've been live for an hour or 3 hours and 40 minutes, chopping it up about Xavier Tillman, Jonathan Isaac, and a bunch of minuscule moves that were made. So, Young Leem, shout out to you. I appreciate you tuning in. Neon, all you guys. Thank you guys so much for sticking with us throughout this day. Wish we had more fun news for you guys, but it's been a pretty slow NBA free agency so far. As I just feel like the 4th of July, all this is gonna end up popping off. But Ben Y saying Laurie to Warriors imminent. No, I don't think it's imminent, but apparently the Warriors have made Markkanen their #1 trade target. Young Leem type of me. Shout out to you, man. I appreciate you for tuning in. Yeah, we're gonna sign off here at a Bulls Report. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're gonna stay live on our main channel here. So shout out to all you guys. We're gonna go to the loop right now. So appreciate you. We're all good over there. All right.